Hello, everybody. There I am. Hey, guys, it's me. It's Andy Decayed Andy here. And we're with Big D. Hey, Big D. Do you like your accompanying friends who've joined us on the desk? Yeah. Let's put Blitzwing closer to you. There you go. You can watch him eat his Energon goodie again and again while Ravage dances on my table very happily. These are free. If you wondered, if people are watching and like, hey, what's that thing? That's these are free gifts you can get from. Whereabouts do I go? Oh, I know. Making sure I don't go to the wrong place. It's from the YouTube person. That's called. No, it's the wrong channel. Oh, it's the wrong channel, so I won't be able to find it. Following them on Twitter. No, I can't find. It's the person that did the silly adaptations of the cartoon. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head because I'm stupid. But they're from that, so you should know what that is. Do you know what that is, Big D? You should do. Yeah, it'll be a thing that I've promoted because I like them a lot. I just wish I knew what they were called. Oh, where's my window? No. Oh, I do need music on. There it is. There's the website. Yay! All right. I do need that. We haven't started the proper show, so it's okay. It's all good. Everything's a-okay. Don't panic, Big D. We have Simon Tang. Hey, Simon. How's it going? We cannot hear Big D. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. That's a me thing. Don't worry about it. Discord. That's right. Can you say something, Big D?
Hey, diddly ho, neighbor.
There we go. Yeah, I know why that was the thing. Because it was set to the Fluff and Hammer Discord. Because that was the last time I podcasted with somebody. So it shunted over to there. Thank you, Simon. Thanks for letting me know. All right. Yep. We'll get to pooping because we've got some news to talk about. So I'm going to play the music. We're going to have some fun. And let's go.
Welcome to Moonbase 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Moonbase 2 podcast. My name is Andy, Decayed Andy, and I'm joined by Big D. Hello, Big D.
Evening, buddy.
Hey, how's it going? It's been a while. Feels like a while, right?
Yeah, it has, but I mean, you've been understandably busy, and it's been rather quiet news-wise until this week. So
yeah, until now. Now we've actually got stuff to talk about. I decided last week not to bother with the show because there was just very, very little to talk about. I didn't know Cybertron Con was happening this week, and I just went, I'm too
Neither did I.
Now, where is Cybertron Con?
Singapore, isn't it?
Is it? Is that where it is? Okay.
I want to say Singapore. Or is it? Oh, no, it's China. Hasbro China Cybertron Con.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. So it's, we got to see a load of stuff from that. There's also other bits of news as well to talk about. My bathroom's now done, so I'm allowed to sleep again, basically. I still woke up at like 7 o'clock this morning, but then I was able to go, I could go back to sleep for a bit. And I went back to sleep for 2 hours, which was nice. So that was good. Awesome. It'll take a while before I can like reset my body clock to like allowing me to sleep, but hopefully it won't be too bad. In chat, we have Simon Tang hanging out with us at the moment, and Nathaniel. Hey, Nathaniel, welcome.
Hey, Nathaniel.
So, Big D, should we talk about some Transformer stuff?
I think we should.
All right. The first thing we're going to be talking about is the top tier important stuff, which everybody's really hyped for, which is why I have a little tiny dancing Ravage on my desk in front of me. We're going to be talking about the Transformers Hydropods. We've got Optimus Prime and Megatron. What are the Hydropods, you might be wondering? I certainly did. Hydropods are water-powered battling toys, that's in quotations, that kids can fill aqua armor pods with water, plug in the target, and watch as a character is revealed. Wow, exciting. Players can then load a disc into the included launcher and aim it at the opponent's target to sink them. Now, Optimus Prime and Megatron join this collection. So I guess this is a thing that's existed beforehand.
I recognise the concept,
Do you?
and
I've never seen this.
and some of the mechanics in like for how the heads come up is not new. It's kind of reminiscent of some of the old water filled game things you'd have back in the day.
Oh, you mean at carnivals, right? In like arcades?
No, you can actually buy them to buy home versions.
Really? I've never seen anything like this.
Oh, I can't remember. You could buy all sorts of games that some of them were literally just like carnival games where you had rings where you had to try and get around and rather rudimentary flippers and stuff that you press to control things inside the tank. And others did have mechanics where basically they hid something basically in the body of the tank, and then you released it and it came up into the see-through bit.
Okay.
Again. So I find it interesting that basically these robots are wetting themselves.
Yeah, and then they lose their heads. It's
yes,
weird.
and also, what parent in their right mind is going to buy that for a kid if their house is not thoroughly waterproofed?
Well, yeah, it's just going to make a mess because you can't play with this on the carpet, right?
Nope.
It's I guess it's like an okay bath time toy, maybe.
Maybe something for summertime if you have a patio or to play in the garden on garden furniture or something like that. But it's
and the designs are interesting. Megatron has like tank tread legs or feet.
I mean, they're nice and chunky.
They are. I guess you could say super deformed, but not really.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to have a bit of the evergreen designs to them as well.
Yeah, kinda.
I mean, they're 6+, which is, I mean, for that age bracket, yeah.
I would have said this is more like a 4 bracket kind of toy, right? This seems like a really.
I'm guessing the firing weapon action is what knocks it up. Cause,
yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably right there. It's interesting. I don't think these look great, but they show on the packaging that the Bumblebee's head is in one of these. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bumblebee comes at some point. Who's the one behind Prime on the packaging?
I'm not sure.
White head, red face, but it doesn't look like tracks.
Because it looks like he's got a proper faceplate. I mean, rewind or eject?
I doubt it. I'm trying to think of like the obvious who are the obvious characters you pick from, and I can't think of any obvious characters you choose from. When I say obvious, I mean like Grimlock, Bumblebee, Soundwave. None of them have that kind of look to them. It's odd.
It's not one of the aerial bots.
No,
it almost reminds me of one of the Armada characters, one of the minicons.
Oh,
in a way.
Yeah, it definitely wouldn't be that. That would be bizarre if they did that.
Yeah. But like I say, it's weird that they've not gone for one that's more easily recognizable.
Yeah.
Like Starscream or Soundwave or even Shockwave.
Maybe they're coming. Who knows?
I mean, I'd be very surprised if they're not.
I look at these and there has to be a Mr. Freeze one, right? Just because of the shape of the head.
Yeah, that does seem like a rather obvious thing to...
I tell you a good one to do. Bob the Killer Goldfish.
Yes.
That would work really well. Super well. But then probably no one remembers Bob the Killer Goldfish, unfortunately. Damn shame.
It's fine. We do.
Yeah, exactly. I remember. I like the video game and the cartoon series.
Funnily enough, I never played video games, but the cartoon series had me in stitches more than once.
Yeah, the cartoon was really good. It was really good. I remember on TCC, they had a block of like, it was either Earthworm Jim and then the Tick, or the Tick and then Earthworm Jim.
Oh, God.
Which is, that's a good combo of shows. That's really good.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out just the right period where they could animate it, and it filled it. It had that streak where they get away with that absurdist humor and jokes, which should not have got past muster for an ostensibly kids cartoon show.
Yes, I didn't get the joke. This looks like a job for Bipolar Bear, but I just can't get out of bed. Didn't get it as a kid. As an adult, great joke. Amazing joke. Love it. But yeah, these are what they call the hydropods. I guess if you're gagging for some water stains on your floor, these might be for you.
Yeah, I mean, this is wave 1. I don't know if there's going to be any more of these, but...
Wave 1, at least the Transformers side of things. Who knows if there's, like, more.
I mean, I'd be surprised if they're not used for other franchises, to be fair.
There must be.
Yeah.
Does it say what company makes them? No, it's Hasbro. It says Hasbro. Yeah. Hasbro-related things, so Star Wars, Marvel, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Welcome, Puddle of Cheese. Puddle of Cheese asks how we're doing. How are you doing, Big D?
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad.
Yeah, same. Not too bad.
Keeping warm in these storm rack times.
Yeah. How windy has it been for you? I'm on the East Coast, so I'm fine.
Well, yesterday I took a friendly jaunt into Swindon Town Centre with my mum.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, it was an intriguing drive. We found, as we were driving, we could listen to the radio and hear all the trains being cancelled. More and more were being cancelled as the day went on. By the time we left,
to be fair,
it was everything.
You don't know for 100% that that's because of the wind. That could just be because the trains in the UK are shit.
All right. Yes, but counterpoint 1. They specifically put more trains on.
Oh, that is unusual. They don't do that
because it was the first shopping weekend of December.
Yeah. All right.
And they cancelled all of them. Mainly because I've seen the footage of this. Part of Swindon rail station roof blow off onto the tracks, which is rather an impediment for a train station.
Yeah, it's not the best. Might mean they upgrade the train station though. They won't. They'll just repair it and go, that'll do. Good enough.
More than likely.
Just get some duct tape on it. It'll do. Fuck them. That's how it feels sometimes. But we can move on to an update for the Vector Prime kit from the DNA Designs, the DK61. I can't remember. Is this a kit you're getting, Big D?
It is. I've got a pre-order in with Show Z for this one.
Okay, well, the update reads, it's a DK61 announcement. Thank you to our global fans for your anticipation. That's you, Big D. You're anticipating it. We have decided to make adjustments to the announced product. We apologize if you prefer the original paint scheme. Here are the updates. New shoulder covers. Due to the inability to paint the top part of the shoulder, the top part of the shoulder armor blue, like the concept art, the paint will be slightly different. We will appreciate your understanding. Praying hands. Very important to get the praying hands. New shin armor. We are introducing brand new accessory for the shin area. However, since there aren't any stable ways to hold the shin armor, the accessory may not fit tightly. If you're concerned about them falling off, you can use a small amount of glue to enhance stability. Always a bit concerning hearing that, but fair enough. I understand. Transparent sword revealed. Originally, we planned to include a transparent sword as a surprise gift with the package. However, due to online discussion online, we have decided to cancel the surprise, in quotations, format of the reveal this gift directly. That's a good idea because he needs, he needs a translucent sword for the original toy look. Okay, bad news. They've got the stocks going down emoji, which is funny. Due to the limitations of the mold fixed space, we must remold a quarter of the original mold to accommodate the new shin armor. This means we will need to redesign, schedule, and modify the mold, which may exceed the production time. Products made from the mold have stricter physical limitations compared to 3D printing. And we have to consider many more aspects. However, we assure you that all costs and prices will remain unchanged, and we hope for your understanding. Thank you for your patience and suck a dick. I mean, they don't say that part, but that's what they're like to the people complaining, or I would be. So, Big D, what do you think about the changes, the shin pieces, and the blue sword?
Well, the blue sword, I wasn't really bothered either way, but I do like. I know that they have gotten pushback from folks for some of the pre-order gifts they've been doing recently. Where
Now,
some of
are
them
the gifts the first time run thing where it's just they do the one time and then you never get them again?
it varies.
Okay. So it's inconsistent.
So there's been some where it's been for the whole of the first run. Some have been locked either to a specific retailer. I think Big Bad Toy Store may have had an item that had something like that locked to them.
Interesting.
I can't be certain, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read. And some stuff's even been locked to a specific region, so some stuff is China exclusive for the first run.
Yeah, that would be annoying.
It is. And that's been stuff like, I think one of the they did a visored helmet for Animated Prime for their Wingblade kit.
Oh, okay.
That was there were a couple of versions of that, I think, that were restricted to certain outlets for the pre-order period.
Right.
It wasn't really clear who got what, to be fair. But hey, they were trying to do something as a bonus, and they got pushback, and they're correcting now. So that's fair. In terms of paint apps on the shoulder pad, I'm not quite sure how they mean they can't paint the blue on top, but
yeah, I mean, in the images they've got it with the blue on it, and in the original version they have it without the blue on it. So I don't know. So, maybe I misread and they are adding the blue.
And as for the shin piece, well, I think every third-party upgrade for Vector that's given you a shin piece has basically said it may not stay on, so if you want it to be secure, glue it.
Yeah, I don't see like how you would attach the shin piece, to be honest, unless it just kind of hooks around the leg. And to be honest, I do think the shin upgrade makes the shin look a lot better. It helps change the look of the leg. It's not just the big boot which you add, and it's not just the side of the calf muscle that they've added. Adding this bit to the front really helps change the silhouette a lot more.
Yeah, it does do some work there to... It enhances that knightly element, but this kit already does a lot to emphasize. I do actually like this version. I'm a bit torn in this because on one hand, I do like the circuitry look on the base figure, but I do like how this kind of evokes a more knightly aspect.
I guess what you could do if you wanted is you could like have the shin armor as like him going out to war, and when he's lounging around, you can take them off like some pair of thick socks. I guess. I don't know.
But I mean, I'll be honest. I like this kit. I liked how it looked when I first saw it. I'm kind of glad I held off on buying any other upgrades before this, because a lot of the other kits did. I was looking at maybe buying a couple of kits to do what I wanted.
Oh damn!
And neither one really, and some of them they were all compromised in some ways, just because they were doing different things. This DNA, I know their kits do get a bit of flack off folks sometimes, but I do like that because their stuff is proper injection plastic. You're not having to worry about any unsightly 3D textures, and generally the paint's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
my only issue with DNA designs have been I've always thought that the prices are a little bit high sometimes from what you're getting, but that's been about it. This is me not having owned any of them yet. I do have a pre-order in for one though at this point.
I mean, I've had a few of their kits. I haven't had anything like any of their Titan upgrade kits, which I've always wanted to go around to it, or their Devastator kit or anything like that. I've always gone for some of the more bespoke kind of tweaking kits more than anything else. So I've got the Prowl Samurai kit, and I just had the Silverbolt and Tigertron kit come through week before last.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, and they're lovely. I quite like them, to be fair. The price wasn't too bad, and this, I like how it looks. It does work to. I've seen some pushback, but people saying it doesn't. It moves it too far away from looking like the Cybertron character.
Does it? How so?
If
you remember what their arguments were, of course.
I think it was along the lines of they think the wings don't look right, and
I'd say the wings are too big. Like if you look at the vehicle mode, the wings are gigantic. They're not. I don't think they're meant to be that big. But I think they look okay for robot mode.
Yeah, some of the complaints because of where they were positioned, they thought they're either too high or too low. But I think it's just because of where those arms they're mounted on have been positioned for the pictures.
Yeah.
So, and I know there's been a little bit of people quibbling about how there's no post in the forearm guards, but
what do you mean post in the forearm guards?
Okay, so you see where
so you can't have a mini-con in there? Is that what the complaint? Okay. Well, but no one's made a mini-con, so, you know.
No, well, one bunch has, but it's not a deal breaker for me.
No.
So I'm actually looking forward to getting it, so I can, especially with what we shall be discussing later for the mainline figures, this should look quite nice.
Yeah, technically, yeah. Yeah, I'll fit in well with them. Yeah.
So yeah, and it's nice that DNA of a lot of folks wouldn't explain why they're changing or why stuff's going to be delayed, but they're saying, look, this is tooling. Because it requires us to rework the tool, it takes time.
Yeah, DNA has always been pretty good about like keeping the customers kind of in the loop as much as they have to be, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I think this is good.
Yeah.
So let's move on to New Age Toys. They've shown off the HB35B Arges, which is a Shattered Glass Shockwave. So feels like a long time since they did a Shockwave, and now I guess it went, well, do the Shattered Glass version of him. It's about time.
Yep.
Color scheme,
he's yellow.
He consists of yellow, blue, and then gray, which is kind of a bit of a strange combination. He comes with a smaller version of himself in gun mode. He comes with a normal saluting hand, and then he comes with a little stand he can go on as well, so he can have floating gun mode. Oh, and he comes with a posable tube. I'm guessing it's like a spare posable tube as well.
Yeah.
Is that all he comes with? I think that's all he comes with.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't get the original version of their Shockwave. I think for a Shattered Glass version, this is nearly okay. I think the main thing I'm not a big fan of is the amount of gray. There's a lot of gray for the chest, and then for the thighs. I think it's mainly the chest. I'd like a little bit more color there, I think.
Yeah.
I think this is usually a bit better than what I would expect mostly from a Shattered Glass toy line.
I mean, I hadn't seen Shockwave's Shattered Glass color scheme.
Yeah, is this official?
Pass.
Okay. Let's say yes.
Yeah, but it looks fine. I think it looks pretty nifty. It's a nice. We always say this for these guys. It's a nice take on the concept. So my only quibble is that because they've gone for grey plastic and painted it yellow on his chest, that doesn't pop as much as the yellow plastic does.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is a bit of a shame, but hey ho.
It is noticeable in these photos as well. I wonder how noticeable it will be in person.
Yeah. So interesting to have so much purple though still on him.
Purple?
On his sides of his legs and his forearms?
Yeah, that's blue.
Is it blue?
It's blue. It's like a dark metallic-y kind of blue.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah. No purple. I think that they were maybe going for... No, it can't be Bumblebee, because Bumblebee doesn't have purple on it. Sorry, blue on it. I don't know.
Well, he does in certain takes on the character.
Okay.
I think in that case, it probably needs to be just a smidge lighter to read more as blue, because I'll be honest, I was kind of umming and ahhing, and I was saying purple because that's what I was instinctively thinking it was. Blue is kind of it's on that borderline between the two, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very close. It was close enough, but no, it's blue, yellow, and gray weird combo. But yeah, if you want to get this guy, so it's almost like a reissue. If you didn't get him the first time, at least you can get the mold. And speaking of a similar figure, they've decided to re-release the New Age Toys H23U Darius. This is a Legend Scale G1 Galvatron. This is a new version, and this one is different because this is in quotations the movie deco. So he's that kind of bluey, lilac-y kind of look. You wondered what he comes with? He comes with 3 interchangeable faces. He comes with 3 pairs of hands, a goon, fusion cannon goon, and a matrix on a chain. And this joins the previous 3 versions of the figure. I have the Marvel comic version on my desk at the moment. And I think they have the exact same accessories, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, if you were like, hey, I missed out on the Galvatron, I want specifically the movie version because of the fucking billions of animation coloring errors and mistakes that have been throughout the years with Galvatron and Cyclonus, etc., etc. This could be the way. What do you think of him, Big D?
Is it me, or is one set of those hands him doing finger guns?
Yes, technically. Technically, they are finger guns. Are they used in the pro? No, they're used in the promo art once.
Sorry, I just love the idea of that. Galvatron just doing finger guns.
I think most of them have this hand. I think most of the New Age stuff have like the same hands, just in different colors.
Yeah.
But even so, yeah, like you say, finger guns is it's a statement. It's a statement. He's not the easiest thing to transform because he's a New Age figure, but he's interesting. I suppose you could say that. Very interesting.
From the pictures, he looks nice.
Yeah. He's a handsome robot mode. As all of them are. All New Age stuff are good, but they can be fiddly because of legend scale and yet masterpiece kind of engineering techniques in it.
Yeah, and like you say, whilst on one hand it is yet another repaint because of G1 animation errors, it's also a reissue for a popular character. So
exactly, yeah. If you missed out, then don't worry. You can now get maybe the version you want. I mean, if you didn't want this version and you wanted one of the other previous 3, well, tough tits. But this at least gives you a kind of normal standard retail price version of the figure, which is
and to be fair, it is actually a very nice metallic paint that they seem to have used, or a metallic plastic that they used for it.
You're right. It's not just flat purple or lilac or whatever.
It's like got a metallic flake to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit shiny, but not like it's not aggressively shiny either.
Yes. Yeah.
It looks nice. I like it. I think he's a pretty individual, which is Galvatron.
So if you like Legends and missed out on Galvatron, here you go.
Yeah. Next up, we have the full update on this story, which is the Hasbro China Cybertron Con exclusive Studio Series Commander Class Optimus Prime. So we got to see the Commander Class Optimus Prime, and it said it was going to be a China exclusive, and it was going to have more cartoon accuracy to it. And then they confused people because it had the yellow eye, so it wasn't cartoon accurate. And people were annoyed because they liked the extra detail and stuff like that. We find out now, or at least via the 5th, which was 3 days ago or so, that it's not painted on detail or anything like that. You're getting a sticker sheet. So I don't think it's nearly as impressive. But the stickers you get a stripe, the cartoon stripe for the trailer, if you want to have that on. You get 3. Where's 3? You get forearm stickers, so you can have them like the toy. Those weird like pistons in the forearms, and then you can have a white bar across his bicep, which I don't exactly remember what that is from specifically. Do you, Big D?
I think it was just part of the toy deco. To be fair,
is that what it? Oh yeah, no, yeah, it was the toy deco. Yeah, because he had a white line running around the rim of it, didn't he? Good call. Yes. You also get the, I guess the yellow 2 stripes and arrow pointing down, which I think that was on the Masterpiece.
Masterpiece. I think it was in some of the comic artwork.
But it wasn't on the animation model, was it? Like for the cartoon?
I don't believe so, no.
Unless it was in one episode of the cartoon. Which it very well could have been. Who knows? So they've got that.
Yeah.
There are yellow eye stickers. You can have them on. There are stickers for his toes. So you can have the lights on them if you want to, again, make it more like the toy. There are knee stickers as well. Again, much like the toy. And then you've got the, what do you want to call them? The vents for his shins or the front of his car.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it.
The grey bits, on the
Yes.
front of his shins. You got stickers for all of them, and then you have a multitude of different window screen options. You have
lots of window screens.
Yeah, like how to you have brown. I don't know why you have brown, but there's a brown sticker. Why is there a brown one?
It'll be an animation error somewhere.
Either that or Optimus Prime is driving through mud or poo. Who knows which? There are just standard like blue or like baby blue. You can have that sea blue. I don't know. No,
well, that's if you wanted to match the the non-transparent plastic legacy Autobot cars.
Yes,
where they got that horrible painted look.
Yeah, I actually prefer that than the translucent plastic, to be honest. But
it's better than that. But
it is very flat.
I finally had what makes me go a bit nuts about it put into words today, because I was watching some Dr. Lockdown videos, and he pointed out that he prefers when Hasbro and Takara try and put like if they're going to use solid plastic and paint for windscreens, he'd rather they did something interesting than just go with that baby blue.
Okay.
So where some have got like a metallic that's been used, I think he was using Combiner Wars Hot Rod as a good example. That the Legends class figure, because he has all his windows are painted.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm happier with the flat baby blue because it's meant to be more cartoony, and the metallic wouldn't work as a more cartoon thing. But I can understand if you want something with a bit more, I don't know, sheen to it. I'd be happy with the baby blue. The next stickers are which one is the cell shaded look? I think the second one is the cell shaded look, and then the top one is the video game devastation kind of look, right?
Yeah, that's my take.
That's how I would describe it. So if you wanted the cell shaded look, is the baby blue window, but with like lighter blue than that as like a sheen on the window, and then the video game version is like a dark blue with like reflection dribbles. Let's call them reflection dribbles on them. So you've got a multitude of windows to choose from, but that's that. Obviously, it's some people who are like, "Oh, I really want that." Well, I would say, don't worry about it. Do you know why you shouldn't worry about it, Big D?
Because Toy Hacks exists.
Because Toy Hacks exists. That's right. And Toy Hacks, you only have to spend $10. I don't know if you have to spend more if you're an English person or whatnot, but if you go to Toy Hacks, they have a multitude of stickers for Optimus Prime. Loads of them, in fact, ones that you wouldn't even consider getting. And they're also like the shots I'm using at the moment. They actually have the baby blue. They have the dribble look as well. If you don't want the dribble or you don't want the extra stickers, you can just get the window screen ones. There's also a sticker of Ramjet in the grill. If you want to have, I don't know why you'd want that personally on your Optimus Prime all the time.
Their bicep sticker goes all the way around.
Yeah, it does.
Not just the front.
Yeah, it's not just the front. He's got like different license plates as well. He's got random trucker stickers if you want to plob them on. Obviously, with Toy Hacks, you don't have. He's got chrome stickers for his faceplate. He's got alternate Autobot insignias as well if you want to have a specific look for that. Again, for $10, it's not bad. And again, if you just want the window screens, the shell shaded window screens. Jesus Christ, Andy, you can get them for like $1.
Yeah.
So don't worry if you're like, I really want my Optimus Prime to look better. Toy Hacks has you covered. You don't need to buy an expensive Chinese version that just has Hasbro stickers. I don't know even how good their stickers would be in comparison to Toy Hacks.
Given that the last set of Hasbro stickers I picked up was I think it was a bonus sheet that Kapow offered to go with Combiner Wars.
Oh, that was so like 10 years ago?
Yeah, and I used the set. I got the set that included stuff. It had a lot of stickers on it, don't get me wrong. But for ones I put on, what's his name? Not Sentinel. It's not Sentinel Prime. The Tangerine Numbnuts.
From what series?
from Combiner Wars.
Is he based off of Astro Train?
Yes.
That's Sentinel Prime, yeah.
Oh, it is Sentinel.
I think so.
I don't know why I thought I wasn't. But yeah, the stickers for him were atrocious. They were peeling within a week.
Yeah, I to be honest, I had a feeling. Maybe it wasn't Sentinel Prime. Hang on, I'm gonna do a quick check because I want to know. Simon suggested the Arc. It's definitely wasn't the Arc, right?
No.
I didn't think so. Combiner Wars, Sentinel Prime. Yeah, it was Combiner Wars, Sentinel Prime. Yeah, just checking.
I don't know why my brain didn't want to.
Because Hasbro's been beating you over the head. The Sentinel Prime's blue for quite a long time now. At this point, that's
actually a very good point. Yeah.
When was the last time we saw Orange Sentinel Prime? A long time ago. Probably Combiner Wars.
Yeah. And although he was a lot of orange, I kind of preferred it, to be fair.
I liked it. I thought it was a good, solid color scheme. Anything else to say on that, Big D, or do you want to move on?
Let's move on.
All right. Well, will you be getting the missing link, Sunstreaker and Corden? Almost said Croydon. Thankfully not Croydon. Though that would be a good name for a Transformer.
Yeah. I won't, but these do look fun. And I like that these missing link toys exist. Because I've seen some folks.
They're almost reissues. Almost. Because when was the last time we got a Sunstreaker reissue? Oh, never. So this is the only time you're going to get something equivalent to a Sunstreaker reissue. And let's be honest, Sunstreaker's not the easiest G1 toy to get because he's
new.
Faffy, let's call him.
And he's not the easiest to get complete.
That's what I meant by Faffy. Like Wheeljack, like Inferno. Inferno's had a reissue, but like Wheeljack. And those are they're fucking faffy figures because they've got loads of hands. They're very old Diaclone figures, let's be honest. So this gives you a nice option to get a Sunstreaker. So I'm mildly tempted by it, even though, he is an ugly robot from the 80s. That's just how it was.
But that's the charm. It's not actually a robot from the 80s that poses like you think he should have done.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that.
I mean, a friend of mine got the Missing Link Cliff Jumper and Bumblebee.
Oh, yeah.
And he kind of loved them. So
I think my only issue with them they are very expensive.
They are. They are perilously close to being masterpiece money.
Yeah.
Figures. In some ways, they're kind of, I think, a little truer to the spirit of masterpiece in a way, because they're taking the concept of taking the original designs and making them work as Transformers, but rather than making it into something that resembles the character from the media, they're making it more so it is literally, well, we're going to take the original toy and we're going to work out how to make it transform and still have all the stuff you expect from a modern action figure whilst looking like the original figure did.
Do you think this is like a way that not Hasbro, but Takara are going to slowly move away from Masterpiece because they can only put out so many Masterpieces a year? This is an easier way to get out I reckon for them, a pretty high-priced item without having to do as much hard work in some ways?
I think so.
Because there's way less pieces. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
There's way less pieces to it. It's easier in that aspect. They also know how it transforms. All they got to do is figure out articulation. I think that's easier than a Masterpiece. Sure.
I think so. And let's be honest, the Takara own brand Masterpiece line has kind of not been doing itself any favors in recent years.
No, they've been exploding.
Yes, and that's before you get into the not unfair criticisms that they've become far too enamored with the G1 aesthetic. Which, it's not something that is just true of Masterpiece, but it has become very clear that that's the aesthetic they're going for, which not everyone is, well, G1 animation especially, which not everyone is kind of on board with.
And I think with this one being obviously a very pin-focused kind of thing, I think production's going to be cheaper, so it doesn't matter as much if they don't hit the sales numbers that they probably would have to for a Masterpiece figure.
Yeah, and like you say, the engineering's all there. They just need to work out how to give it articulation.
I tell you, the biggest thing they need to do, make the mold. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because they were all like, oh, we can't find the mold, so I guess we're not going to make reissued Sunstreaker. It's like, well, here you go. We've got a new one with articulation. Neat thing about it is, if you wondered, they come with the original weapons. They've got the stupid sprue that has the spare missiles for the missile launcher. Well, not the missile launcher, because that's his hands. He has hands. He has shoulder parts, guns. I don't know.
Yeah.
The things on top of his shoulders. I don't know if you class them as guns or not. I don't know.
I always called them shoulder pads, to be honest, because that's the closest I can.
Yeah, because
my brain would let me.
He can't aim them, so they're not really guns.
I
don't know. He comes with a gun, and he also comes with a Microman. Microman? Yeah, Microman. Diaclone Microman.
Yeah, which is cute.
He's kind of, I think, meant to look like Spiker Sparkplug. Sort of.
I think so with how they've coloured him, yeah.
Yeah, he's got blue pants, very, very dark blue pants, and then like a beige top, but then his head's silver, like a horrible machine man. And Croydon, I'm going to call him Croydon from now on until I forget, which will be it by the end of this podcast, comes with just like a standard looking Microman. That's, that's the one that you look at and you go, oh yeah, that's a Microman. I think these are good. I think these are a bit more interesting looking than Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, which were incredibly ridiculously priced. They were like £59 for the set, right?
Yep.
Which is freaking crazy. I'm more interested.
The group shot looks nice.
Yeah, I think that it needs a bit more color in there because there's a red one, a yellow one, a red one, a yellow one, and a white one.
Yes.
They need diversity of color.
Unfortunate.
They need diversity of color in this series at some point. I think we're going to see this line continue on for a while.
They have to do Badatsons at some point.
I mean, you get 3 for the price of 1.
Yeah, that's just easy money for them.
The only thing they'd maybe do is do slightly different heads. Maybe, or they might not even do that. They probably wouldn't even do that.
I mean, they'll probably do a different head for Smokescreen, just because that's how he's drawn nowadays.
Yeah, but does Smokescreen have a different head for the original toy?
I don't
think he did.
I think he may have had different missile launch setup. That may have been the biggest difference.
Yeah. Who would you like to see next, though? In this line, obviously.
I'm always a sucker for Jazz because he was kind of like my favorite Carbot growing up.
I'll tell you
Jazz and he's cool.
I'll tell you the wise business move to do.
Megatron?
Wheeljack.
Wheeljack would be awesome.
Wheeljack. Why is Wheeljack a good business move? Because he has never been reissued. And as mentioned before with Sunstreaker, he's a fanny.
Yes.
He's a fucking fanny. You have missile launchers, which go on his shoulders, which usually break because they were clipped on onto the metal bar. So that's always a broken piece. They came with individual missiles. He had a gun, and he also had his 2 wings. Do we call them wings? He had those, which everybody fucking loses as well. I know, I have. Did he have anything else? He had the 2 missile launchers, the missiles with them, the gun, the 2 wings. Was there anything else?
I think that was it.
That was enough. Don't get me wrong, that was enough.
But crucially, he also had the best looking car mode of all of the G1 Autobots.
Yeah, as well, until he, yellowed.
Well, I mean, he was a Lancier, so that's...
Is that in keeping?
That's accurate, yeah.
Oh, no.
Lanciers, specifically that model Lancier, are famous for the fact that they turned into piles of rust.
Oh, poor Wheeljack. Cosmic Rust got him at the end. Damn. But no, I think Wheeljack would be the smart one to go for next because it's keeping with season 1, and it keeps in with the car stuff. I mean, we talked about the diversity of color here, and that obviously doesn't fulfill that.
His deco gives you a lot of color right off the bat.
But he is primarily white, is what I mean.
He is, but he's also got a lot. He's a lot more interesting color-wise than these guys are. There's a bit more.
Yeah, there's a bit more to him, which will help perk him up a bit. I don't know who you do like for his Diaclone version. I guess you do Exhaust, the Smoker. I'd prefer the Seal Slicer, but I don't think they do Slicer, to be honest.
Slicer would be nice because I've always liked his paint scheme.
And because we've never had a reissued G1 Jazz. Wheeljack. We've never seen G1 classic version of Slicer, which would be kind of fun to see as well. I think we'd just get exhaust though, to be honest.
More than likely.
That's the Diaclone version and the boring one.
Yeah. Which would be yet another white version.
White and red. White and red. So it's like there. All right. I don't know. Yeah, again, in the future, if they do Dinobots, they're going to make a fuck ton of money doing the Dinobots as well.
Oh, God.
Wanted to issue Dinobots for fucking ages. And if they have extra articulation...
I'm good. I have my G1 Dinobots now. I'm not buying another set of sodding Dinobots. I have the Studio Series Leader Dinobots. That is my G1...
That's not G1, though. I mean, it is G1, but it's not G1, though.
It's as close as I'm willing to spend the money for.
You say that now, but you say that you're protesting like you're really fighting yourself, like you don't want to.
I am, because I know I'm weak and I have all the ability to withstand impulse buys of a wet piece of cardboard.
Well, I'll tell you, like, those Dinobots, if it did happen, they'll go quickly. Guaranteed.
Yes, they would.
Because, me and Mikey were talking about reissued Dinobots for fucking ages as well.
I mean, Swoop would be a must-buy for the UK market because that toy never got released here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, what are the different colours from? Comic version or the original toy release version of Swoop and then cartoon version of Swoop?
Yeah.
The red and the blue one. There you go.
Yep.
Easy.
Yeah, Dinobots are an easy... That's just...
If they made a brand new mold for Sunstreaker, they'll make the Dinobots eventually. Yeah. I don't think it'll be soon. It'll happen, though.
I'm intrigued to see how they tackle stuff like the Seekers.
Can they?
That's what I'm thinking. Can they do the Seekers?
Yeah, because
is there enough space in the design to actually put articulation into them? Because I don't know there is.
I don't think there is. I think the way that you do the Seekers is, you know how you form the arms for the Seekers. You put like a joint in that, but you still have them parts form the arms. So like you'll give them an elbow bend, but that would be about it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't.
Might be. Yeah,
you can't integrate I mean, with Sunstreaker, they're not integrating the hands, right? Their hands are still separate pieces.
Yes.
So I imagine that's what they have to do with the Seekers as well. I think what they might do is maybe they think of a way to do the heads a little bit differently. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you're right, though. That might be why they haven't done any Decepticons yet, because can he even do Megatron? Probably not.
I was thinking that we're probably never going to see a Missing Link Megatron.
Probably not. I wouldn't say it's like never going to happen, but I'd say it's highly unlikely.
Or certainly not released anywhere outside of Japan.
Yeah. So theoretically, you can't do Megatron. The Seekers are problematic just because of how they transform. So then you've got Soundwave. It's like, okay.
Soundwave that'd actually be a really nice set to do. If they did a Soundwave that had the Missing Link articulation, and they gave you it'd be nice to have all the tapes, but just like the core 5. No,
I could see them like giving you Buzzsaw and Ravage, and then if you want the rest of the tapes, you need to buy them as like a 50 quid set. Excluding Slugfest and Overkill, they wouldn't be included.
Yeah, but actually with decent if they could do the G1 tapes with articulation,
be interesting.
I'd be impressed. I'd be terrified to handle them, but I'd be impressed.
I think the problem with Missing Link Soundwave is as a G1 toy, he's reasonably articulated already.
That's true.
So I don't know what you do to justify it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get that.
The only thing I can think of is like giving him like proper knee bends, because he's got like backwards knee bends for his transformation. So if you could make that a way where you can have the joint normally for a normal knee, and then also have it for the transformation as well, which shouldn't be too hard to do. But apart from that, he's got elbow bends, he's got shoulder rotation, his head can rotate.
I mean, proper knee articulation, maybe re-engineer the chest so he's got enough space for more than 2 tapes.
How do you do that without just making him fatter?
Mm,
I'm not sure that's possible without just like making him fat, just
that's
enlarging
true.
him. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there might be a way. They'll figure it out.
It'll be interesting to see anyway, because
Reflector
it is
would be a
proving
good
to be
one to do for Missing Link.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be expensive though. That's 3 robots.
And also very niche, more than the others.
Yeah, he'd be the most niche.
Yeah.
But again, they haven't been reissued. You can only get like KOs of them if you want a reissue of them. And they could have decent-ish articulation added to them. That'd be nice. MPEG Soundwave ? Yes, that's how we solve the tape version of him. We're just making him an MPEG player. Let's move on though, because we've asked around there long enough. We've got a new The Authentics Transformer. This is Alpha, also known as Mirage. So obviously, if you're not aware, the in quotations Authentics line is kind of like your kids version, but non-branded kids version. So it's not like Earthspark related. It's G1 in quotations ish.
Yeah.
But then it's basic. It's a 7-step changer. It's Mirage. He's also bigger than your average boy. So they've got him stood next to the Earthrise. Earthrise, big D.
That's Earthrise.
Earthrise
No,
standing.
Is that Earthrise?
I think it's the Earthrise. Pretty sure. I think it's standing next to the Earthrise one, and we can see how this one kind of compares. And you could tell he's a little bit more simple. Does he look a little bit like a knockoff?
A little bit. He's got a bit of that about him.
It's the face, and he looks really hollow.
He does.
I think his vehicle mode is quite nice, though. I think that looks okay.
It is. I mean, I appreciate the fact the Authentics line exists because they are a nice kind of budget line.
Yeah, and it's a good entry point for a kid, I think, generally.
I mean, look, you can see from the side shot, he has no knees.
No.
At all.
No.
Which is probably, given he has ankle tilts and hips, that's probably the biggest omission, but I think it's kind of common amongst the Authentics line anyway, that they don't have those. But otherwise, for a budget figure, yeah, he's fine. He's, like I say, he's got a nice looking alt mode. The robot mode is lanky. But yeah, I don't see anything fundamentally wrong with this.
I'll throw out that I'm not a big fan of how the forearms look, because you get to the elbow joint, and then it feels like he's sticking his like arms out to the side a little bit.
Yeah, they are at an odd angle.
Yeah. It's kind of noticeable. That's obviously due to the transformation and how the arms kind of go together in that. But yeah, and again, if you look at the close up of his face shot, that's it's not even painted well. Like, yeah, someone's done a me job for the eyes when I paint my Warhammer figures. It's like, the paint's almost in the eye. That'll do. Fuck it. No one's gonna be looking at it. So yeah, I think it's a more successful vehicle than it is a robot. If this was £5, good. If this goes above 15, it's not worth more than 15. I would say personally. Cheapo toy, sure. Anything more than that, no, I don't think so. So we have our crossover figures. We got crossover figures revealed recently. I'll play the video because why not? So, Transformers is crossing over this time with everybody's favorite blue hedgehog and constant rival to Mario. Ha ha ha. After decades. He's crossing over with Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails. So we're getting a 2-pack that has Sonic, who turns into his Sonic racing car from the racing car Sonic games, and Tails, who transforms into the classic biplane. So, how do you think these figures turned out, Big D? As Sonic has a ring shield weapon, quote unquote, and they used to be TVs back in my day, but a power-up box. They're not TVs anymore. It's whatever the new things are.
That actually hurts that you said that, because I've just realised, that's true. You don't see those Sonic games anymore.
What's a TV? No one knows what TVs are.
Yeah. I think these look kind of adorable, to be honest. Tails is probably one that I think looks the best out of the two. Sonic.
I agree.
Sonic, just because the combination of that tan, some of the placement is a little. He gets a bit creepy in places.
Oh yeah, me and Griff said that. Have you seen his nipples?
Mm-hmm.
If you wondered, chat, he has I guess peg holes or something in his chest.
Do you mean the screws in his chest or the things above them?
Oh, I mean the things above them specifically. They're little gaps. Yeah, right on the fleshy parts. Griff said that to me, and I was like, oh yeah, they are kind of like inverted nipply kind of things, which is kind of horrifying. Sorry, Sonic. I don't mean to shame you, but yeah. Sonic looks weirdly naked. Like, Tails looks like a robot because he's got a biplane propeller in his chest, while Sonic just looks like a naked version of himself. I threw this out to Griff as well. What's the one thing that Sonic's missing in robot mode?
Spikes.
That's not a bad call. I wouldn't say that.
And his trainers.
That for me was the big thing. I understand why they haven't given him red shoes, because that would affect his car mode. Because obviously the front of it, his feet are the front of the car mode, so it needs to be consistent with the rest of the car. However, in robot mode, that means he doesn't have his classic red shoes. Tails does. Tails has his red shoes, but Sonic doesn't. Which is a little bit disappointing. Tails, I think, again, just looks better. He still looks creepy with his soulless dead eyes like Sonic does as well. But I can appreciate the fact he's a biplane. I think that's, kind of neat.
Yeah.
I think biplane is a cooler vehicle than just Sonic car as well, but that's just my own personal taste at that point,
Definitely.
You have any other thoughts on these, Big D? Are you going to be picking up the Sonic robot men?
I won't be, but I consistently see these collab figures coming up, and they all. Is it just me, or has there not really been one that's been that bad this year?
This year? No, I don't think any of them have been bad this year because we didn't get the Macross figure. Not Macross. Top Gun. Top Gun was like last year or 2 years ago.
Maverick was years ago. That's probably the worst one.
Yeah.
The others have all at least been interesting. Actually, the laziest one we know is going to be the Godzilla ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're just basic repaints. Yeah, that's shit.
I'm kind of not counting those because they've done nothing to.
No, well, they gave one a Megatron head.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. These look like at least they have some nice engineering going on.
Yeah, these based off of anything, they don't look familiar.
I don't think they are. That's one of the things I've noticed about the most recent crop as well. A lot of them aren't really based on anything pre-existing.
Yeah.
There have been a couple where they have, but for the most part, they're all kind of fresh engineering that's not even been reused for anything.
No, I mean, Tails being a biplane, like, what are you going to use Tails for? If you want to redo him into like a Transformer, Sonic you could probably do something with because car, but Tails would be really, really specific.
Yeah, there haven't been that many biplane Transformers for
no. Damn shame there should be.
Yeah, but I like that they exist and that they seem to be putting a bit of thought into them as well.
I wonder if Gruff's
and a bit of budget,
Yeah. Gruff likes Sonic. I wonder if he's going to get one for the boy.
Well, it's good timing with the new film due out soon.
Yeah, that's out just before Christmas, right? Or just after Christmas?
Something like that, yeah. So, although these won't be out till the new year, at least it's keeping the brand still fresh in people's minds.
It might come out similar time to the DVD, maybe? That would be a good time if you could do that one.
Yeah. Is the new game out yet, or is it out in the new year?
Is that Sonic Generations X Shadow? Is that the one you mean?
I'll say yes.
I think that one's out.
I don't know where the Sonic games are anymore.
Because that one it's not a new game. It's kind of a version 2 of like Sonic Generations. It's Sonic Generations, which is a reissue, and then it's the Shadow DLC effectively booted onto the side of it. As far as I'm aware.
Okay.
I think that's just out recently. But yeah, there's Sonic. He's coming. Blue Streak, Brave Star, Sonic the Hedgehog. Too fast for the naked eye, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he is the fastest thing alive. Alive, do. Their mother will be found as well, you know. The mother will be found. Sonic Underground. Right, so we also got an official video for some reason for the Age of the Primes. I'm not really sure who this is for, because this clearly isn't going on TV, so it's not going to rope in kids.
Yeah.
Your grand's not going to watch it because she won't give a fuck. She's just going to pick you up something from a shelf and give it to you. Or a kid, I suppose. But this is a very, very, very basic explanation of what the 13 are. And technically, if you pause the video on the 13 shot, you can get an idea of what the toys are going to look like when they're coming up. They also show CG renders of like Skybite, the what do you call them? The bird Onyx Prime. Onyx Prime.
Yeah, that's Onyx. Bird Centaur Man.
Bird Centaur Man, yeah. They also show off figures that we're going to be talking about. They show Hotspot. They show Crasher, who seems to be getting a reissue for some reason. Vortex, who we know is going to be coming at some point as well. G1 Vortex. And then, what do you call him? Star Convoy. I'm not going to call him Star Optimus Prime because that's a silly name.
Yes, it is.
And they also introduced to us Prime, Nova Prime, and Megatronus as well, who some of them we'll just jump to it now because why not? As Cybertron Con showed off new figures and also the mashable things that we just talked about and Sonic the Hedgehog as well. So they showed off...
So many new figures.
Yeah. They showed off Megatronus, who we've talked about already. They showed off G2 Blue Grimlock, who we've technically seen already. And then the rest of them are new. So we got... Oh, they're missing one from this thing here. Air Raid. They didn't have on the big slide there. So we'll start off with how these images are going. Started off with Silverbolt. New Silverbolt. Commander class, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How do we feel about G1 Silverbolt? Is he missing paint? Like on his torso?
I'm not sure. I think he might be, because...
Like his hips are the same color as, well, not the red part of his chest, but it's just standard gray chest. He feels very, 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 very gray, like too gray.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my mind playing tricks on me, and that's just how he looked.
I'll be intrigued to see how this one, how Silverbolt shifts off shelves, because Motor Master struggled a bit.
He did struggle. I think this is going to annoy people in the same way that Motormaster did as well. Because I've already seen people complain about it, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. I mean, I actually like how he poses in robot mode. And I like how... I appreciate the fact that they've tried to do a little bit of something different with the jet mode, so that the combiner kibble basically turns him into a stealth bomber. But he still forms the Concorde in his own right.
I think he's had to sacrifice, because I looked at the vehicle mode, and to me that didn't look like it probably should. And then I went, it's because of having to shove this giant plane onto his ass to kind of get it to work.
Yeah, there's a bit of that as well.
Okay, so as you mentioned, most of the Superion stuff is going to be as a new piece, which obviously is going to anger some people. I still think it's probably the best and most interesting way to do this. They have found a way to integrate it, like you say, into an arse piece for the jet mode. It does form a quote-unquote base mode, which is, if you say so. It's just basically a wall where Silverbolt can prop his big gun. Looks kind of bad, I'd say.
Yeah.
But whatever. It's a thing you'll never use. I would say. And we are at the point again where I saw a lot of people complain about this, and I would agree with them on this aspect. It's another Silverbolt or plane mode that just has all of the shit on the underside of it.
Yeah.
Like the jet part does not do a lot of transforming. It's all just kind of bundled under the bottom, unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately, it's frustrating because to some extent, the issue is the particular jet he transforms into is not one that has a lot of space to do much with anyway.
No.
And even Universe, that version, didn't do a great deal to hide the robot underneath.
Yeah,
And
Universe was long time ago at this point.
Yeah.
That was over 10 years ago.
Yeah, but that was an original kind of jet design they used effectively. So
yeah, but they were still kind of aiming for. Yeah, they were aiming for Silverbolt. I don't know if they were. You could argue that they weren't aiming for like cartoon accuracy, and they was aiming for toy accuracy, and you could say that was the reason why it looked like that. If you wanted to be lazy, but I would hope from like Universe to now, we could have moved a little bit closer to doing something more when there's not. Unfortunately. I understand. I completely understand why it works like this, because, like you say, Big D, there's just, well, where the fuck do you put it? I don't know, but I think it looks rough visually in this mode, like especially compared to Motormaster. Motormaster was a really good truck.
Oh yeah, and a wonderful robot as well. He kind of did both those things really nicely.
Yeah, I thought so, and it looks like Silverbolt's, competent jet, even though as we've said, it looks like he's missing color. And then the jet mode's rough, and the combined jet mode is something. Is a nice way to put it. It's something. I don't think it looks great, but they're trying something, and I can appreciate that. However, Superion, much like Menasor, I would say, looks really good.
Yeah.
They're using the same kind of technology for the arms and the legs as they did with Menasor as well. So when you put a jet onto the back of the calf muscle, it pushes little flaps forward to cover up the shin. Some people didn't like that, some people did, and some people again didn't like how these jets split and how the Stundercon's vehicle split, and you just kind of plop them onto the arm. I don't mind, because I think that's the best way to get.
I think the bigger issue folks had was more that you were kind of limited. You had to use specific parts for specific limbs.
Oh, I see. I didn't hear people complain about that. I heard complaints about how high or low they sat. Like Dead End didn't really sit close enough to the arm, and it looked like he was just pegged on more so that. But I can understand why people might be annoyed with you can't like Scramble City combine them.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why that would be a big issue personally, but
yeah, I mean, I actually really like how they come up with this engineering solution.
I think it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the best the combiners looked in mainline.
I know who they got this idea from. They got this idea from people like New Age.
Oh, yeah.
But they did something a little bit better, because New Age, my New Age yellow Devastator's on my fireplace. And what do you do with his torso and thighs? You just throw them in a box. At least here, there's a play feature. It's not a great play feature, but it interacts with the robot mode and it interacts with the vehicle mode. So
that's a key thing about this. It's mainline, so it's they've taken bits of engineering inspiration from third-party efforts. You have to assume, because it's hard to picture that they wouldn't have done. Yeah. But they've rendered it in a form that is mass marketable and is not going to make the average customer want to blow their brains out trying to do stuff with it.
Yeah.
And honestly, that is kind of cool. And it does look really nice. I'm actually I was kind of umming and ahhing about whether to go in on the Aerobots, and I'm kind of airing to the, damn it, I'm going to have to put a pre-order in just in case, aren't I?
Yeah, but do you buy Silverbolt straight away? Or do you wait until he's like 40 quid or less?
I know, but it's running for risk of, is it gonna
get there? Yeah. Who knows? I don't know.
At least this time they are releasing two of the limbs in the same wave.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the limbs in a bit, because I have some issues with them again, but does Silverbolt have a weird face? Like if you look at like the front on shot where he's just like in a straight pose, if you look at that head and then you switch over to like the box artwork, the head doesn't look quite right to me, and I'm not sure what it is about it, but it looks odd. I don't know what it is though.
He's got that kind of slightly trapezoidal shape to the bottom of the head. I want to say that was an artifact of some of the G1 animation models for him.
Yeah, I think so.
Because he never really looked like that in the comics.
No.
They always tend to draw it much more properly squared off around the base.
Yeah, just a little on the odd side. looking.
Mm.
Then some packaging, artwork, and all that jazz. And then we have Air Raid, who, again, my issue with both him and Slingshot are they are very, very close to how the Stundercons transformed, which is very similar to how, what do you call them, the Combiner Wars figures transformed.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing desperately new. And if you look at side-by-sides of the Combiner Wars aerial bots versus these aerial bots, they're reasonably similar in all fairness.
Yeah. I mean, these ones have ankle tilts, which is nice, but questionable whether that's worth the upgrade. But
they are more accurate to the cartoon, don't get me wrong.
Yes, yeah.
It's not a big jump from the two of them, I feel. Like, the annoying thing about the Stundercons was Dragstrip was really good, and he was completely unique. He wasn't based off the Combiner Wars one at all. And then after that, the rest of them were just Combiner Wars ones, but argue better or worse, depending on how you like them, I suppose.
I mean, there are little things, like I like how both of these guys have two guns, so
That's nice.
you're not left with a jet mode where they've got a gun under one wing.
Yeah, and you don't have a giant hand like the Combiner Wars ones.
Yes,
that's always a plus.
Yeah. And we're getting Slingshot from the off, and they're not having to.
He's not an exclusive.
Or come up with a new character because they can't do the trademark.
I liked Alpha Bravo, but yeah, he was.
Yeah, I liked Alpha Bravo, but it was still a bit.
And again, Slingshot was a piece of shit to get because he was an exclusive somewhere or something. He was something. He was like Wild Rider.
Yeah, they were both pains in the ass to get hold of.
For no good, well, I'm sure for reasons, but I would consider no good reasons.
Oh, that's right. They were store exclusives in the States.
That's what it was, yeah. How did we get them? I can't remember.
I think.
Did we get them?
I think Kapow may have gotten them in.
Oh, so no, we didn't get them. We had to get them from an import store.
Yeah.
I didn't think they hit our shelves. I was pretty sure they didn't, at least.
Yeah, because they hit kind of around the same time as Toys R Us was kind of
dying.
Yes.
Or dead, one of the two.
Yeah.
Another positive thing, I like the head molds on these guys. I think the head molds are specifically better on these two. I think Slingshot might be my favored out of the three aerial bots, I think, in terms of how they look. But again, even his jet mode is nice, but again, he just transforms like the Combiner Wars toy, which is my big issue with this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Slingshot, I think, I like his jet mode the most, because for Harry, it helps with the Harry's a nice chunky jet anyway, so it's always kind of
little sausage plane.
Yeah. But Air Raid does, I think, have the nicest bot mode of the three.
Okay.
I do agree with that as well. The head sculpts of these two are very nice.
Yeah, I like them. I think they're all right.
Yeah.
Who's the red one called?
Fireflight.
Firefly. I think we can assume Firefly will just be a repaint of Slingshot with a new head, right? I'm pretty sure that's what they did for Combiner Wars.
No, I can't remember now, because he's always been an F4 Phantom. No, that was it. He was an F4 Phantom, and then they repainted him into Slingshot.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Wars. Yeah. I imagine that's what they'll probably do here to save money, because that's what they.
Yeah. That'd be a shame, because he's got a very distinct. His jet mode is very distinct from Slingshot.
You know why they will? Because that's what they did with Wild Rider and Breakdown. They would just repaint each other for no good reason, I would say. But there you go. That's these two. We also are getting Wasp out of the animated Bumblebee figure. So this will be our first official Wasp, right?
Yeah. So we had a Waspinator, but no Wasp animated.
No basic Wasp. Yes, this is the animated Wasp. If I didn't make that clear enough. So my issues are: it looks like my problem with the original Bumblebee is going to be a problem here. His canopy is completely translucent. Stop! You cannot work with translucent plastic, Hasbro. You don't know what you're doing. You continue to not know how to use translucent plastic many years later. And
stop putting it on load-bearing parts.
Yeah. This isn't on a load-bearing part, but it is on a big pin joint.
Yeah, that pin makes me go, nah.
Yeah, because I remember Titan's Return Weird Wolf. And I remember the plastic snapping on that metal bar. The only version that didn't snap was the oversized KO version because they use different plastic. I'm thinking, if I remember correctly.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. So I think it looks good. I like the head sculpt. I like the color scheme. The stingers are just the original stingers, just different colored. Yeah. But it is just that Bumblebee figure who I didn't desperately like outside of like the translucent window. I wasn't a big fan of how they did the arms, etc., etc. But it is just that, which I guess it should be. To be fair, what do you think of Wasp? They haven't even called him Wasp on the package. He's Waspinate on the package. That's interesting. Wow.
Maybe they couldn't trademark Wasp.
Maybe. I was lying. It's not that interesting, but it's something to note at the very least.
I like how it looks. I actually have animated Bee in hand.
You get them on sale.
Yes, I did.
That's fair. Yeah.
If I'd actually bought him full price, I don't think I'd have necessarily been disappointed.
Okay.
Because it is actually a really nicely engineered figure, and he's the same height as Studio Series Bumblebee.
Oh, really? I don't think he was that small.
Yeah, he stood next to him on. They're both standing on Stride Skylix at the moment on my shelf.
That's kind of nice that they're that small next to each other. I thought he was like more regular deluxe size, not a mini me.
No, he's very small.
Interesting.
Which is why a lot of folks did understandably have a gripe with him. But as they've been doing a lot recently, he's jam-packed full of engineering. So as much as I don't disagree with you on how stuff like how his arms are not perfect, he's actually a really nice interpretation of the design. And it's nice to see Wasp get this version of himself as an official toy at last.
I would agree with that. It's something. It's more than not having it. So yeah, I would agree. It's good. It's finally happened. We next have the first of the primes. We've got Solus Prime and very kind of boring purple, I would say, who transforms into a truck.
Yep.
I suppose.
Yeah, it's a Cybertronian truck.
I will throw this out before we get into the rest of them. None of the primes have good modes, alt modes. None of them. Apart from Star Convoy. Star Convoy has an okay alt mode. None of the rest of them are bad. You could have done anything for these alt modes. Anything. And I think all of them are pretty bland and poo. Luckily, I think the robot mode for Solus Prime looks okay. Not to the point where I'd want to buy one. But it's okay. She has a gigantic front skirt, which is going to look really awkward when you try and do like leg poses, because you're going to have to swing that thing out really far.
I mean, I get what they're going for, because they're kind of going for both kind of warrior's tabard and also a blacksmith's apron, because she's the smith of primes. Is it me, or does she look? Her colours remind you more of Nautica?
I'm trying to remember because it's been a long time since I read more than Meteor. I can see where you're coming from. I was actually thinking, what's her American name? Chromia from Galaxy Force. I don't know the Cybertron name. You know the boat girl?
Oh,
whatever her name was. That one.
Oh yeah. I know who you mean. Yeah.
And I think even her purples were a bit more vibrant. This is a very, very dark purple. I think a little too dark for my personal taste, at least. I'd say this one is better than Primer. At least I think this one looks a lot nicer than Primer. But then the vehicle mode is just weird. It's better than Primer's vehicle mode, but again, it's you know what it looks like? It's almost like the Pimp Mobile from the Gene Stealer cults. It's almost. It's not exactly there, but it's almost there.
It just needs a proper passenger cabin at the back in it, and that'd do it.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good point. It's worth mentioning that the front of the car, or truck, whatever, that looks like a vehicle. And then the other half of the vehicle mode is just nothing. It's just, there are her legs. There's a tabard. Nothing. It's just, there's like no...
Bless them. They've tried to obscure it with a hammer, but we can see what you're doing there.
Yeah, this is why I say none of them have good modes, because they all look pretty bad. And it's really disappointing, because you could do, I don't know if they had official alt modes, but as far as I'm aware, you could have done anything Anything. I do like the Forge of Solus Prime. I think that's a nice looking accessory. I think that looks nice. I like her weird pointy toe feet design. I think that looks quite nice as well. I think her facial expression is, as always, for some reason, Hasbro can't sculpt facial expressions on Transformers for some reason. So I think it looks a bit bland. But what do you think of a Big D? Is this something you're excited to get? Because clearly I'm very, very cold on her. Clearly. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I can think of one positive thing to say about it. Another positive thing.
Go on.
It's not not Firestarter. What was the last female Transformer we got that they used over and over again for Minerva? It's not Chromia.
Elita 1.
Elita 1. It's not Elita 1.
It's a new female body type.
And the actual robot mode looks really good. It looks like a really good female robot mode that just not a color I think is great, and a vehicle mode but I think is shit. But a very good female body. There's the positive thing. There you go.
If they ever decide to retool this into something, I'd be intrigued into another character.
Yeah, 100%.
I'd be intrigued to see if they keep that front skirt or remove it, and
I hope they change it.
See how it looks without it, or just with a regular hip skirt instead. Honestly, my only real quibble is the fact that it's a deluxe size character.
Oh, you'd want it to be big.
Kind of. But I've been thinking about it. On the one hand, I'd have liked the Primes to kind of like be Voyager or higher in terms of size. But on the other, there's something kind of fun about the fact that the Smith for Primes, the one who makes all their wonderful toys, is a deluxe size.
Oh, you know why she's really a deluxe size?
Yeah, because they're cheap.
Because she's a woman! Woman!
Oh, yeah, that as well.
I think, to be honest, I think it would have been a harder sell if, like, it's like, oh, she's a Voyager price point for a female toy.
It sucks, but yeah,
that's how the market works. Sorry.
Yeah.
There has to be some of them. Some of the Primes have to be in deluxe price point because they need the Voyager price point for
things.
Yeah, like Mike Cronus Prime. That his name.
Yeah.
He's going to be a deluxe. Clearly.
Yeah.
If not small, I don't think they'll be smaller than that because there isn't really a range below that.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the picture they put out, and you can get an idea of just about how some of the scales are going to go.
Yeah, exactly. From the video, you mean that we just kind of looked at? Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but it's flawed, but I appreciate the effort.
Yeah,
I'll probably grab it just to keep in box mode.
I'm really interested to see what she looks like when she's retooled into something else. Any thoughts on Blue Grimlock? I think he's blue. That's why
he's very blue.
I think he's mediocre compared to the yellow one that we got, which is way better, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, because that's fun. This is just literally Grimlock with all the grey replaced with blue.
But what if he does have Autobot on his bottom as well, like the old G2 toy?
Does he?
Yeah, if you look at his dinosaur mode, if you look at his tail, it says Autobot, and then it's got the G2 logo on it.
Oh, that's right. He has a tramp stamp.
He does. Well, G2, everybody did. Because if you didn't know they were an Autobot, the giant Autobot insignia, you had to have another thing that specifically told you an Autobot.
The insignia, your faction name, and your own name emblazoned in the biggest words possible.
Look, the 90s were full of really dumb children like myself, so, what are you going to do? You also get Wheelie, unfortunately. The really shit Wheelie figure.
That's the thing that you just question this whole thing. Why? Because they didn't include him in the other G2 Grimlock or the comic artwork version of Grimlock.
I'm not complaining that they missed out, to be honest. But
why in God's name have they brought him back for this specific release?
I don't know.
Did Wheelie even exist in G2? I don't think he did.
No, I think someone said that this weird color scheme for Wheelie is based off a comic appearance. I think. I don't have it to hand, so I can't tell you.
I'm not surprised you, but also, why? Just we know now that they have the tool for his sword. Just make it the Grimlock that comes with the sword.
Oh no! Why didn't they just give him his sword?
Well, hell, give him all the Dinobot swords, so you have another option, another way of getting all of them.
Oh no, they wouldn't do that. You get fucked. They wouldn't do that for you.
No,
he is Wheelie.
But
everybody, you know what? We at Hasbro know everybody loved this wheelie figure, so we're giving you it again in a different color scheme.
Sweet Jesus.
Sword? What do you mean sword? Grimlock doesn't have a sword. Shut up. When has Grimlock ever used a sword? Name one time. One time. See, can't do it. Can't do it. Impossible. Yeah, blue Grimlock. He's blue. He has awful looking wheelie. This is your leader slot. What a waste.
Well, he's a leader slot, but yeah, still a waste.
It's a waste on a one that we've already. I mean, we've already had a repaint of him, but you know.
But especially given that everything else in this wave is new. Well, apart from Wasp, but that's at least that's a fresh character, not just another version of the same character.
Yeah, like the Bumblebee mold had only been used once. This is the. I was going to say it's the third use. It's not. It's like the fourth. No, this
will be the fifth if you count Godzilla Megatron.
Yeah. Is it the sixth? It's been used a lot, regardless. The Bumblebee into Wasp one time. This, come on, man. You're milking an empty cow now, I would say. I get this makes sense, but not... This could have been...
Your name's Hasbro, not New Age.
This could have been a web exclusive figure rather than something for the main line, you know?
Oh, totally. And as a web exclusive, it probably would have done quite well for them, but in mainline, that's gonna warm shelves.
I can't see. Maybe it'll do well. I'd be surprised. Maybe it'll do well. Obviously, the other leader is the Fallen, who we've talked about before previously, so we're not going to linger on him too much. We know he's going to be more than likely going to be Studio Series Megatron at some point in the future. There we go.
Yeah.
Boo. He looks nice in his box. We have Star Optimus Prime, Star Convoy, as he's also known, and this is going to be... I'm guessing this is the Titan class figure, right?
Yes.
So he's going to be your not Tidal Wave, but will be priced as Tidal Wave.
Well, from what I've seen, he's about the same height as Deathsaurus.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, so I've seen some speculation he may have originally been planned as a HasLab figure, and then they kind of pivoted.
I think they've reduced what he has than if he was meant to be HasLab.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't look like he's Titan class price either.
Yeah, he is supposed to be cheaper than the rest of the current Titans.
Oh, that's good at least.
So I'll wait to see how much he actually
to be honest. I was going to get really arsey about it.
Oh, yeah. If he was like 200 quid, I'd be like...
Yeah, fuck off.
No.
Piss off.
But we have to see how Hasbro special pricing for the UK pans out first, though.
What does that mean, Big D?
You know what that means.
Oh, you get the dollar sign and you turn it into a pound sign. That's usually what it means. Sometimes you even add £10 onto it. For no reason.
Sometimes more.
Sometimes more. Yeah, go fuck yourself. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
If you wondered, Star Convoy comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
all
8,
the blast
9,
effects.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14 blast effects. These are the modular ones, obviously. So the ones on the right-hand side of the image are the ones that you got with Magmatron, and then you get 2 extra tips. You were, ladies. We have the 2 of the standard blast effects, and then we have what's the blue one? What's the blue one from?
The blue one I think is new. The blue one I think is new. I've not seen that with anyone else.
I don't reckon it might have been used somewhere, but you, Big D, I don't recognize.
What I can tell, you've got the 2 of the blast effects that came with all the other Commander class figures.
They're the ones on the left, right? Yeah.
Yep. But then the other one is the same one that Magmatron had it, and also a Mega Supreme.
Yeah, that's what I said. And then 3 extra tips. Oh, sorry, 2 extra tips for some reason. He also comes with his not ion cannon, whatever that's called. He has his 2 shoulder guns. He has a turret. A turret. He comes with a turret, but not for himself. He comes with the lorry truck thing that this very short era of toys had. I don't know what it stored a Micromaster or a Diaclone. Sorry,
I'd forgotten that this thing even existed.
I didn't, and that's only because I have I have Star Convoy, the reissued version of him from many years ago at this point, and I have not Sky Gary, the Brave version of him, the red one. What's the red version called? Can't remember. Whatever.
When I lived in Hong Kong, I had a chance to buy the original release of Star Convoy, and I didn't get it because I didn't understand what it was.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool, but I just didn't get it.
But it had nothing to it apart from like what, a manga chapter.
Yeah. I mean, it looked great. It looked really distinctive, but it was just like, as far as I knew, it was primarily because of a Microcon hot rod. That's cool.
But why?
Pretenders.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
So I bought all the Decepticon Pretenders instead.
To be fair, I think that was a better call, personally. He also comes with Legends scale hot rod? Scout class hot rod?
I think he's a Legend size. Or I'm confused because I've seen some people describe him as being a Micromaster size. That was a Legend size.
He looks bigger than that. Wow. He looks bigger and more complex than Micromasters, to be honest.
Yeah. He looks quite nice, though.
He looks better than the last Scout figure that we got for Hot Rod Rodimus, which was fucking...
Oh, the core class, yeah.
Yeah, the core class one, which was...
Yeah.
Is really bad. So we have some images of Prime Star Convoy in poses. He's very big, very, very big, very, very chunky. So he looks poseable enough for something as big and chunky as he is. You can have the hot rod.
Posable in the original.
Yeah, oh, mate.
That's not hard, I know, but still.
Yeah, that one. If you didn't know, people out there, he had a bicep bend and a swivel at the shoulder, and that was about it. His legs were one big block because his legs had a motorized tread system in it, which you could detach. It's an interesting idea. With this toy, we also have, you can open up his chest and have the hot rod getting the Optimus Prime Shinji kind of moment. Jesus, I'm dying. Help me. Hold on. I could have muted that, chose not to. We have the alt mode, which is his truck.
You can't call it an articulated lorry because there is not an articulated point in there whatsoever.
No, it is accurate to the original toy for better and for worse because his legs don't do anything really. But that's how he looked. This is why I'm not as harsh on this guy as I'm Alpha Prime, Prima Prime, and Solus Prime. Because this one, it has to look like this. There's no reason it can look like anything else. And I'd say unfortunately, but I get why it has to be here. It has its shitty base mode.
Yeah.
Money went into putting in the shitty base mode. Andy, is the base mode good? No, it's still shit. It's still shit.
I mean, at least it is G1 accurate.
Is that a good thing?
No, but for some people it will be.
Also, would it hard not... I think it would be more effort to make it not G1 accurate, to be honest.
There is that. I mean, I would have liked to have seen them put a little more effort into it, if I'm being honest.
But what do you do for the base? I don't know. Because no matter what you do, you annoy someone. Do you make it accurate to the toy, which is what they've done here? And thus, it looks shit. It does. It looks shit. Or do you make it look like a real base, and people go, "Oh, it doesn't look like the fucking original." It's a no-win situation. But I agree. I think, fuck this.
I mean, has any Optimus Prime base mode looked good? Really? Let's be honest.
Action Master, and even then, that's kind of rough.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the trailer vehicle mode for Action Master Optimus Prime. The standalone battle station is I was gonna say Power Master, but then I was like, no. I was desperately thinking of a Micromaster base, and I was like, Optimus Prime isn't a Micromaster. Shit.
No.
The base mode's here. It still looks bad.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a thing budget's gone towards.
If you buy this thing with intention to use it to display the base mode,
Who
why?
are you? Who are you? Who are you?
If you're having that much trouble with your money, contact myself and Andy. We'll happily take it off your hands.
I'm desperate. Desperate.
He is. He's told us how much his new bathroom cost.
Yeah, it's a lot. Worth it though, but a lot. The trailer, the little Micromaster trailer thing, actually does more than the original. You can flip up the front and it has guns in it, and you can make it into a semi-battle platform thing. Before, all you could do was plug the turret into it and have Hot Rod mounted. Now you can do that, and it has a few extra guns and stuff, which is, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's not amazing, but it's like, that's nice, I guess. Hot Rod can also go inside said trailer. Cool. Then we have some promo shots of the Hot Rod. Very small and basic. I'm not going to hold it against him, because that's probably how he should look. I don't think he looks as cool as the actual Micromaster version of him, because the Micromaster was a really fun, solid Micromaster.
Yeah.
It felt he transformed like every other fucking Micromaster. You flip the bonnet down and you unfolded the legs, but he was one of those really satisfying ones. Like the Decepticon sports car team, like that kind of nice feel to. Just
in fairness, I don't think any of the Micromaster cars, for ones that had that same basic transformation with the hood and the way the legs felt.
Yeah.
That was always they nailed that one with the race car patrol right from the start, and didn't really do anything to fuck it up.
No, I mean, to be fair, if we're talking about Micromasters, there wasn't a huge plethora of transformation schemes for them, but they were fun and they worked.
Yeah.
And this looks okay, but it looks like
it does.
He's got ball joints for his elbows, but he's got big elbow pads, so they may have just been on swivels, because he's not really going to get much for his outward elbow joint.
Yeah. But this to me feels like a bonus, not anything you kind of bind the set for,
Oh, almost like an add-on or a HasLab thing.
Oh.
I agree. I think it feels like a bonus add-on for a HasLab thing, especially now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
The box art's really good.
Oh yeah,
really
the box
good.
art is killer.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you took away the bit of a bottom with the base mode and the truck, and just had that top portion with Star Convoy and the primes around him, as an art print, I'd take that.
Yeah, you could probably sell that on your website as an art print. And it's a printing thing, so you can do it to order as well.
Yeah.
Make a nice art piece.
But no, it's a nice bit of artwork, full stop, to be fair.
Yeah,
and honestly, this Age for Prime's box dress they've been using with that gold, I think that's actually really nice.
Gold on black is usually a pretty solid color combination.
Yeah.
And it's appropriate for the primes,
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure it would have worked for previous lines. Like Legacy would maybe have felt a little gaudy, but when you say Age of the Primes, you're like, oh well, it needs to have a little bit of wowie sauce to it. What's the little round crystal thing that he comes with?
Oh, I saw this mentioned somewhere. Apparently I think it's what powers him up in the manga that resurrects him.
Oh, it's an actual thing.
It's not the Matrix and it's not Vector Sigma. It's something different.
I wondered if this was going to be a thing that the primes came with, at least if they were of a certain size. But you're seeing it's a specific item in relation to Star Convoy.
Specific to Star Convoy, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know.
Just kind of cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
That.
Again, that seems like something you'd have as a backup bonus thing. Like, he's a little thing he can have.
Yeah,
like,
to make it a complete version of a figure for a premium price. Gosh.
Oh well, whatever. We've got Red Alert as well. We get to see the full boy, not a toffee brown version of him, but he looks pretty similar to the original toy, but nicer.
I am genuinely surprised this isn't just a repaint of Cannonball.
Yes.
And another version of the skids tooling, because that's what I thought we were going to get, but this is a completely new tooling.
Yeah, it makes you go, so they're going to make a new Cannonball, right? Using this mold.
Well, I think what they might do, because this is Armada Red Alert, and Cannonball was always a repaint of Cybertron Red Alert. So, and we know that Cybertron's coming up as the capsule wave for Walmart next year.
True.
So
yeah,
which is still weird that we're going to get two versions of.
Okay, I've thought of a way to throw a wrench into that idea. When you think of Cybertron Red Alert, a Galaxy Force Red Alert, which version do you think of? Do you think about the car version, or do you think about the giant missile launcher version?
Honestly, until a few years after the series, I didn't even know that there was the standard version was actually there was a toy.
Yeah. I think that's the one most people think of, to be honest.
Yeah. No, Cybertron Defense is probably one everyone thinks of, to be fair.
Oddly enough, I think when people think of Exilion or the Cybertron equivalent, I think they think of the car, the small version, versus the armored truck version for some reason. Is that right? Do you agree with that, or do you think of the armored truck version?
Well, so the armored truck version was the first version of him I had.
Ah, okay. Oh, so that one pops into your mind because of that.
But it wasn't the first. But I did see the car version first.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What do we think of Red Alert then? This Red Alert, this Voyager Red Alert. What do you think of him?
I think I like him. It hits all the notes of the Armada toy, but just the legs still are a little, I think, overly long, which is true to the original toy. But overall, it feels like that design, just given all the articulation folks wanted when it first came out, to be fair.
Yeah, I think the upgrades to this are primarily the doors on his bottom legs are clearly way smaller and less egregious as they used to be.
Yes.
The proportions look a little bit cleaner. Like you, I don't think this looks like a massive upgrade from the original. He doesn't have his stupid like boob disc launcher, so there's not a giant cut in his chest.
But he also doesn't have the huge electronic suite inside him either.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I think his back kibble because of that is a bit smaller as well. You mentioned his legs being long. I would agree. His legs and just like his torso to leg ratio looks a little bit on the weird side. I know I just said proportion wise he's better, but I think that's still the case. But still an issue. I don't think I'd rush for this. They also give you the 2 translucent hand pieces and then nipple pincher, I suppose you'd call it.
Yeah, he does have the gun that goes into as well.
Yes, he does.
That does pop out of it's not shown off anywhere apart from on the back piece of the box.
No, they show it in vehicle mode as well.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they show it in vehicle mode, but like you say, never for the robot mode for some reason. I don't know why. Because he can't hold that gun.
Yeah,
I would think, unless they've changed that for some reason. But
weird, but okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be fine. I'm not like I don't think this is a massive like in terms of massive upgrades. Like clearly, Hotshot from Armada was a massive upgrade. But, I mean, you'd hope so. I think this looks okay, not amazing, but okay. Is probably how I'd phrase it. You have anything else on? He's going to look better than his repaint version as well, obviously, because the repaint's fucking shit. I know, because that was the version I had.
I think I own both versions of him.
Ooh.
Mainly because they were both very cheap.
Yeah, well, that makes sense.
I bought them, so.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He looks fine. Not 100% sure if he's a day one purchase, but
no, I'm glad for sale for myself.
Yeah, I am glad that he does exist though, because it gives you the trifecta of the Autobot heroes now from Armada, the initial ones anyway.
Yeah, all 3 of them are available. Minicons aren't, but they are at least.
Yep.
Next up,
it does mean though that people are going to just ramp up asking Hasbro to give them Cyclonus and Demolisher because sweet Jesus.
Yeah, they're the only ones we're missing at this point. I'd say reshoot Starscream as well and make him not shit and broken would be nice as well. I think this is the last figure. We got the full version of Primer Prime. So we kind of saw this already. So it's showing off last time, at least the head was. And then we've seen colored versions, but without the head, this is the full thing. So this is the leader of the Primes, and I think he's pretty mediocre, I would say. He's got, in my eyes, a pretty boring color scheme, white and dark gray, which is kind of background color energy, if you ask me. He does have a boob that opens up, which has the Matrix inside of it. He does, like I say, to me, he looks like a background character rather than someone you have up front. And his vehicle mode is that the transport vehicle from Aliens? You know, where the family goes to in the director's cut.
You know what? Now you mention it, that's not a million miles away.
Because
It's that sort of transport looking to it.
Like it's clearly a space kind of vehicle, it's big, it's white. It's close enough. If I was to describe it to someone, I would describe it like that, as I have. I wouldn't say it makes for a very exciting vehicle, though.
No. I mean, it looks like a relatively well put together vehicle, though, which is more than we can. Well, better than Solus's.
Yes, 100%. I would agree with that.
But also bigger size point, so you'd expect that.
And I mentioned this before when we've talked about him, but again, big translucent plastic on a hinge. A big hinge. Stop it. There's no reason, but I've mentioned that before.
But it's a shame.
He comes with his Matrix blade, or whatever the thing is. He's got that. What do you think of him, Big D? Are you excited for him? Because clearly I'm not. I think he looks rather dull.
Oddly, the fact that he kind of looks a bit generic in his whiteness is part of the appeal to me, because it's kind of like...
That's what people say about me.
Well, you're not the only one, mate. I mean, he does kind of look like the template that all other Transformers are kind of stamped off of, in a way. So, him looking a bit generic.
Is it just because he's the kind of monotone color scheme?
Yeah, and kind of... He's not doing anything exciting. He's just kind of like... I mean, that's always how I've seen... When artwork kind of contemplated the first Transformer in over decades, that's kind of been what they've gone for. They've gone for a very minimalist design when we have seen anything of him in any close to any detail. I think this looks fine. Like I said, it's not like the world on fire. I understand your point completely.
Yeah,
but I like it. I actually do want to. I like the fact that, if nothing else, I want to try and get the primes this year, whereas from this series.
Yeah.
So I'm actually looking forward to getting it in hand, because I just want to see how it looks in hand. Because honestly, I've been kind of impressed with some of the grey/off-white figures Hasbro have been doing recently.
No, the Rock Dude that you got, right?
Rock Dude, Ferrac, Vector Prime, they've all kind of surprised me of how good they've looked in hand compared to renders. So I'm kind of hopeful this follows through with that. But again, even if it doesn't, it's nice to have this character with a unique figure.
Yeah. It's nice to see something different. I'll agree with, yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a Titan Master.
No. I don't know. So, maybe it's one of those things where he'll look good surrounded by the rest of the primes. That might be one of those things.
That's the sort of thing I really want to. That's why I want to be able to do this, so I can have a complete set of them looking. Have a proper Council of Primes thing as a bespoke display. So, I mean, hell, we're already two there. I've got Alpha Trine and Vector here, so
that's true. Yeah, and then we're getting 3 from this wave, which will be, I guess, reasonably early next year.
Technically, we get 4 because Star Convoy's for 13th.
Oh yeah, yeah. Good point.
So, really, that means we're only waiting for another 8.
It's going to be interesting to see how they do the rest of them.
It will be.
Yeah,
I am genuinely intrigued to see how they do the rest, because stuff like Liege Maxima, especially, I wasn't expecting them to go with the G2 design of him.
I know.
That's a bit of a shock, because, oh boy, that's going to be a fun one for designers to work with.
Yeah, good luck, I say. And after that, we've just kind of got the figures we've talked about before, and the weird pulley apart figures who, again, we've talked about before, so we're not going to do that.
See, that metallic on Sonic kind of looks better than the flesh tone of the actual toy they've shown off, so that's interesting.
Promotion images in it. Sometimes they go a bit weird. What are you going to do? Excel Hedge says, so is Dr. Wu going to put out 10 different versions of Starsaber? Of this Starsaber? That's a good point. Yeah, because Prime
haven't they done that already?
The Starsaber. Well, Yeah, they have. Yeah, they did that years ago.
Yeah.
I guess they could just reissue them, I suppose. But yeah, that's all of the Transformers news. We'll quickly go over the Marvel stuff because it's the stuff I was kind of interested in. Unless you had anything you wanted to say, Big D, before we crack into it.
Just that I was kind of impressed with how much they showed off and how it surprised so many folks as well.
I will say it was a little disappointing that, again, as ever, we kind of knew a decent chunk of the stuff that was coming. Like, we'd seen it. Like, we'd seen Red Alert. We'd seen Primer Prime.
Yeah, that was a bit of a...
That's just how it goes, at this point. Can't be helped. It is the internet. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
No, I was just going to say I'm actually kind of impressed by how much they did show off that full first wave. Would have been nice to maybe had that, I don't know, a month or so ago at one of the other big shows.
Yeah.
Waiting for a show that a lot of folks didn't know was happening. But...
but the Chinese market knew, so that's, I guess, who they were catering towards, unfortunately. It's a good point, though. I completely forgot. Like, this stuff could have been... Like, if this stuff was shown off, like you see, just a couple of months ago for, like, the PulseCon thing, that would have been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Never mind.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So, on the Marvel Legends front, we have the Spider-Man wave was shown off, and they showed new Woman Electro. Do you know Woman Electro?
Yep, she's actually Matt Dillon Electro's ex-girlfriend. She's been around since the Bendis run on Avengers. So
I hadn't heard of it.
Nearly 20 years now.
Damn. I only know Man Electro, Melectro rather than Felectro.
It's fine. She's just as much of an asshole as he is.
In terms of a figure, I think the design looks okay. They're using the not the newest female Buck, which is kind of bizarre because they have the Ms. Marvel Buck with the butterfly joints, but they've decided to not use that, which is weird. She does come with the cool lightning effects parts, which look quite nice. Otherwise, I'm like, well, I can skip it. We got Spider Boy. I don't know Spider Boy, but he looks kind of lame, I would say.
He's a recent addition to the franchise.
Okay.
He's actually had some really interesting stories written about him, but his look is one of the more
lame,
odd ones. But then he's only supposed to be 8, so.
Oh my god, that's even lamer.
Yeah,
I do like his sneakers. That's kind of fun. Apparently, he hasn't had a new Buck made for him, so it is using the older teen body, so it's nothing too impressive there. Comes with whip hands, a backpack, and I have a spider mouth face. So this is one of the ones I didn't give a shit about.
Yeah, he's kind of... His thing is that he's a bit more like Miguel O'Hara in fact, he actually has spider DNA as opposed to Pete with his spider bite. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would be a big skip for me, as would Felectro would be. More posing. We've got Spider-Man Unlimited, which is kind of interesting, but kind of disappointing at the same time. The main reason why it's disappointing is it clearly needs the shading, because Spider-Man Unlimited had a fuck ton of shading on that animation model, and even on the package art, you can see how they've shaded out the face around the mask, and on the toy, it's obviously very flat. This is not using the newer Spider-Man body either, so he's got the ab crunch, but it's not the double diaphragm joints, which again, a lot of these figures don't have the double diaphragm joint, which is kind of a bummer. He doesn't have a toe bend either, again, kind of a bummer. And then he just kind of comes with the standard Spider-Man hand set. So again, kind of feels cheapy outy in a way. I think this is a toy that will look really good when people who can paint on the shading for him. Then it'll look exactly like he should do.
Even a heavy wash before we do this figure wonders.
I think mainly because that black isn't around the face. It really highlights how weird the suit looks.
Yeah, that's fair.
It doesn't look like Unlimited because it's missing that. We got something I think Big D might enjoy. We got Kane from the Clone Saga, a figure that people assumed we were never gonna get, because who the fuck is Kane?
I mean, he's still around. Just he's now Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you got Scarlet Spider. You don't want Kane. What the fuck is this guy? He doesn't look like anything. He does look really good though. He's got his little pink scarf thing. Is that what you call it?
Cape.
Cape, kind of. I don't know. Shawl, like a granny would
Yeah.
have. Unfortunately, it is going to limit down the articulation in his arm because it kind of just rests on the shoulder. It has a nice swoop motion, like the wind's blowing. Same for his like hair. The hair is going to limit down the articulation on the figure as well because big lump of plastic will limit the amount of articulation. But I think I like this a lot. He's got the spikes on his forearms, spikes on his shins. Also, it looks like the blue veiny bits are like raised plastic rather than painted on, which is
that's
nice.
quite nice.
I think this is a really good looking figure. I wish he came with more. He seems to just come with a couple of hands.
Yeah.
What could you give him? You know things, Big.
I mean, Kane never really had, but the only thing you'd really give him was an alternate face that revealed these gnarly scars. But
did he just punch people? Did he not have like whips or spider web or?
No, his thing was
like
that he punched people, and then he could he had the mark of Kane, which he used to basically, you know how Spider-Man sticks to walls?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kane basically would do that, but his had evolved so he could actually use it to stick his hand to someone's face and pull.
Oh, so you pull their face off?
Yes.
A la Nicolas Cage. Yeah, you probably could make a toy of that.
Not really.
Ooh, you can simulate it with one of the figures in this line and with one of the figures technically in the X-Men line. I'll mention it when we get there. I think this is a really cool looking figure. This is one of the ones I'd really like to pick up.
It's one of those things where I'm glad that it exists.
Yeah.
You know?
Next up, we have Agent Venom, Flash Thompson.
Yep.
He is pretty good, but again, it looks like he's going to have a pretty limited kind of articulation. We don't know if he has a waist swivel. If he doesn't, he's just going to have a ball joint in the top of the torso, which is going to limit down a lot of the articulation, which is a bit of a shame.
It looks like he's got a waist swivel from one of the pictures.
It's hard to tell because of the belt being in the way. And if you're looking at the one where he's kneeling down, it's the chest that's pivoting rather than the waist itself.
I was looking at the close-in picture of him on the display stand with all his bits on display next to him. It almost looks.
He's not twisted, but he's not twisted, but there could be something there.
Yeah.
I hear that the guns have been reused many times over, so people are a little bit annoyed by that. So if you got
it's a gun.
I think they're like new molded guns, like nice guns for him. I don't think people like the guns that they've been used here. I don't know. Just remember hearing people have complained about it. In terms of accessory count, I think his accessories are decent. He has an unmasked head. He has punching hands. He has gun hands. He has clawed hands. Then he comes with a shotgun and a pistol. So I think it's a pretty decent amount of stuff. Obviously, could do with more articulation, especially because they have the mold and the tooling that they've already done for other bodies. So it's always bizarre when they have tooling, but they just don't use it for some reason.
Yeah,
that's always weird. But I like Agent Venom. I thought,
we're guaranteed to get at least one repaint out of this as Anti-Venom.
Yes, because why not? It's easy to do. Then we have Cartoon Chameleon. And as I mentioned, if you wanted Kane to have someone's face ripped off, well, he comes with a J. Jonah Jameson mask, even though if he's based on the cartoon, he didn't use masks. As he has his little weird photo belt. He doesn't come with a lot. He comes with a gun hands, a punchy hand, pistol. Here's the thing, Big D. Where are those guns from that the Chameleon comes with?
Oh, yes.
Where have you seen those? Oh, in this wave. We just talked about Agent Venom. The exact same guns.
All right, that is kind of funny.
It's funny that it's in the same fucking wave. I didn't even notice that till I looked at the guns. Jesus Christ.
It's not even that it's in the same kind of wave of Marvel characters. It's the same subline.
Yeah. Well, it's the same subline, literally the same wave, and the only difference is his are grey instead of just all black.
That's funny.
And then obviously he has the J. Jonah Jameson mask. I think this is really cool. This is how I remember Chameleon from the cartoon. Does he look stupid? Yes, but that's how he looked in the cartoon. So,
for Chameleon, he always looks stupid.
Yeah. There's one thing I think would have been nice to have as an accessory. I think it would have been nice to have a separate belt. And it would be a belt that you could put on to other characters.
Yeah, that would have been fun. To show off
they're the Chameleon. I think that would have been a nice way to do it. I think people have said, "Oh, he should have come with an alternate head," and that makes sense. But I think doing the belt would make more sense in a way.
Yeah, the belt would have been cute.
Yeah, because then it's like, well, when he took the picture and changed into somebody, it wasn't like just the head; it was his entire outfit, for simplicity's sake. Because of cartoon. I don't know if he looked like this in the comics and did the same thing. I just know about the cartoon.
No, the comics version's always been more the face where he's pasty white has been pretty much his look since they created him. But
I have seen a shot of him in like a bathrobe. Well, not a bathrobe, but like a smoker's jacket.
Yeah, quite often.
Which is funny. I don't know. Odd look. But Chameleon, that's the wave. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you going to say that?
Smoking Jacket's because he's supposed to be Craven's half brother. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's.
Has that been? That has to have been changed over the years, right?
No, that's actually been pretty consistent over the years.
Damn.
Yeah. Basically, Craven's dad was an asshole.
No.
I know, right?
And Craven turned out so well, and Chameleon so well. Damn.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just you can get past the bad stuff. So I think mostly this wave's okay. I like the character selection. I just think that because you're not getting the fully articulated stuff, which there's no reason at this point why you shouldn't be. Spider-Boy, fine. There's no new buck for that, so whatever. The female Electro, there's a better body you could be using. Why don't you use that? For Spider-Man Unlimited, why don't you use the better body for that? Same for the rest of them. There's better articulated bucks. There's no reason why you shouldn't be using that. I know some people have said because you're not getting Bath figures pieces in these waves, you should either get better articulation or more accessories to make up for that fact.
That's reasonable, yeah.
And you don't, so it's a strange one. Next up we have Savage Lands Professor X, non-crippled Professor X, as I remember him in season 2 of the show.
Professor X.
Yeah, in the Savage Land when he could walk around and do stuff. I think people have said this is a reuse of the Hank Pym body, because there was a Hank Pym that used this body.
That would track, because it's...
He's got maybe a new head? I don't know if it's the head from the previous Professor X figure, and then he's got the gun hands for, like, I'm going to touch my head. He has a Cerebros helmet, and then he has gun trigger hands. But no gun, but he does have gun trigger hands. I mean, you've got guns from, like, Agent Venom and Chameleon, I guess you could give him if you really wanted to.
I like how they managed to pose me on the pictures doing the Borderlands gun to the head pose.
You can see what they're trying to do. It doesn't look quite right. I think because they've made it look like the gun sign where it should be more to the side, like he's touching it, like he's rubbing his temple rather than putting a gun to his head. It's kind of funny. This isn't one that I would want to get, but it's nice because there's Kazar. They've done Kazar before. They've got Saber. Saber? Is that his name? The cat?
Yep.
That came out recently.
Sabu, I think.
Sabu. Thank you. Sabu. Sabu came out really recently as a Bath figure. And I think they have rumblings of Shana the She-Devil. Is that right?
Makes sense, yeah.
I mean, the name. That's a name, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, somebody mentioned as well. One of the guys mentioned forearms. So people are assuming it's going to be what's his name, Barbarous.
Oh,
is it Barbarous? Forearm dude. Yeah, forearms.
Well, the problem is there is actually an X-Men villain called Forearms.
No, yeah. Barbarous though, the guy that has four,
Yeah.
is probably
so,
that
yeah.
in relation to
Yeah.
these, because they seem to be doing Savage Land stuff, so they're probably.
I do find it funny though that on the packaging in the explosion mark for features they said safari suit, and it's like, well, for one thing, that's if you most people when they think safari suit, they're thinking the old Roger Moore style safari suit for the like the blazer type jacket.
True.
Whereas that's a jumpsuit, mate.
Same thing, isn't it? Same thing. It's interesting though, on the card art, he has brown boots, but in the toy he has like blue blacky boots.
Yeah.
It's odd. Okay, it's not big deal. Also, the green for the gloves and the artwork is different from his. I mean, the green's just the wrong color from the package art, I would say.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. I'm not going to be getting him, but
I mean, in fairness, I can see a couple of different shades of green used across the figure, and they look so that might just be where there's different types of plastic been used.
Yeah,
that take the color differently. So
yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah,
I recognize the legs and the arms. I have those on my Dormammu figure and Red Skull figure. I recognize them. Then they are doing Spider-Man from the 1970s movie. So kind of a fun, weird collectible. People are speculating that it's based off the Spider-Man from the Japanese one that they did.
I mean,
it makes sense.
Yeah, weren't they the same costumes?
They've got different masks. If you look at the eyes, the eyes are different.
Yeah.
Also, I think they had different belts. I don't think the belts look quite the same.
Yes, that's true. Also, Spider-Man used far more firearms.
Oh yeah, he was a badass. He also had a mech, so can't complain about that. This one looks a bit on the weird side, but it, I don't mind this one not having the best articulation because, man, if you've seen that 70s movie, he did not have the best articulation as a human being.
Yeah.
He's also got a bit of white plastic to look like the rope that he used in the movie, which was hilarious. And then the kind of spider web effects. So it's not one that I care. 77. It's not one that I care about, but it's kind of a nice curio.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's nice for completionists to, because there's going to be some folks who want it in their collection.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't think a lot of people have done the 77 movie Spider-Man, so it's like, well, it's nice.
Yeah,
kind of cute bits there. Just look like another Spider-Man mostly, but we've also got the Lizard coming from. It says No Way Home, but that's not where he came. Oh no, he was in No Way Home.
He was in No Way Home. Yeah.
It's Lizard. People have said it looks like the tail's not articulated. It doesn't probably have a bendy wire. If it does have a joint, it's probably just in his ass. For just like one joint.
Yeah.
People are a little bit sad about. Also, if you notice the big mark around like the lower part of his neck.
Yeah.
That being it looks like a separate floating piece to get more head articulation, but it looks really weird. I don't like it. It's not a big bother for me, but I don't like this Lizard. My Lizard needs a science coat. Otherwise, how will he do science?
Yeah.
This looks like his perverted uncle that, goes around to the schools and likes the children. That's how I always thought this Lizard looked. I wasn't a big fan of the design. The toy looks fine. He has a different head, so he has mouth open and mouth closed. But if you're collecting the realistic movie stuff, I guess Lizard.
Got you sorted, yeah.
This month, apparently. Don't know bloody when, though. Oh, for America. I bet for America. I bet not for the UK.
And it's an Amazon exclusive as well.
Yeah. Why not? Then we have people's picks. Oh, and then we have the new X-Men wave. Figure that we knew about was Cortez. Fabian Cortez.
Yes.
I liked Fabian Cortez from that Asteroid M episode 2-parter.
You know what? I loved how they brought him back in the Krakoan era.
Oh, he came back, did he?
Yeah, it was wonderful because it's Cortez, so he always thinks he's it, but everyone else just remembered him being a douche.
Isn't his power kind of wank?
He could overcharge people.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Well, Yeah, it was even more funny when they found a way to replace his power. Because that's the only thing they kept him around for. Someone grew a fruit that could do the same thing.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
In terms of a figure, though, I think this looks really good. It's his asteroid M look, so he's got the big V on his boob. He does have a big plastic cape, which I wish they'd move away from. And then he's got the fire effect fist accessories, which is, nothing desperately new. But I like the look of this figure.
God, the Acolyte uniform was such a 90s look, wasn't it?
It was. It looked great. I'd like to get the full range of them.
That'd actually be really cool. Yeah,
Professor X's woman, who I don't remember the name of, and then just
Amelia Voigt.
Yeah, and Remy's friend with the mustache. Hey, Remy, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
I don't know what his name was, but getting a line of them would be nice. But I think
Joanna Cargill probably would be the most sense because they could. She's actually had a couple. She's been fairly prominent the last 10 years or so.
But would you do the Acolyte version of her? Would you do a more modern version?
They do an Acolyte version to start with, and then they can do the alternate versions, the more recent versions.
It's just what order you do them in, I suppose, right?
That's true, yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, I like Cortez.
Yeah, full set of Acolytes would be quite cool, yeah.
Do you like the look of this figure?
I mean, it looks like a massive douche, so that's Cortez. Yeah,
some point.
Yeah.
Then we've got Age of Apocalypse Gambit. I actually really didn't like the Age of Apocalypse design for Gambit, to be honest. Versus his standard 90s look.
Yeah, the Age of Gambit in the Age of Apocalypse was an odd duck.
I mean, most of Age of Apocalypse, in terms of it as a series, was weird.
Yes, his look especially was very odd.
Yeah.
I mean, it's accurate, so give it that.
Yeah, it's not bad. It goes along with the Age of Apocalypse stuff that came out a few years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Apparently that wave didn't do too well, but they're still cracking out figures for the people that want them. You could buy... Do you really want to buy, what's his name, Legion? Professor X's son? Was that his name, Legion? Was it Legion?
Yeah, for Walking Dead Ex Machina, because...
He looked shit. His design was wank. He had Guile's hair from Street Fighter and then was just in a blue suit. Not even a suit. Like rags.
Well, he was wearing hospital scrubs.
Yeah, it was crap.
Yeah.
Crap look. But yeah, he came out. We've got X-Force. X-Factor?
This is X-Force Nightcrawler, but it's the Nightcrawler from the Age of Apocalypse.
Is it? What makes him the Age of Apocalypse one?
Well, he has that red tattoo.
Oh, okay.
That's because it was Age of Apocalypse. Everyone had things, and Kurt's thing was he had that tattoo over one eye.
Oh.
But I don't know if you remember, but in the comic, X-Force from this run travelled to the Age of Apocalypse, and a few of the X-Men's enemies from that, well, not even enemies, a few of the characters from that reality escaped to ours. And
interesting.
Age of Apocalypse Nightcrawler joined up with X-Force to hunt them down, mainly because a couple of them were X-Men.
Fair enough.
So
I was concerned about this release because I thought this was going to be the X-Men 97 version, which was just Kurt, and he didn't come with anything. This one comes with an alt head where he's screaming, which is nice, and it comes with a sword as well, and it comes with obviously holy hand and then a couple of three-fingered hands. So I'll get this because I liked X-Force. I thought it was a good comic series. It was done by Rick Remender. I like Rick Remender.
Yeah.
I hope the rest of the figures get done.
X-Force, since they rebooted it during Messiah Complex, has actually generally been a fairly strong book overall, I found.
I mean, Rick Remender, he's good.
I mean, that was probably the strongest, but... Fun fact, this was when Kurt was actually dead in our reality.
So this is how they kind of got around it, right? He's dead, but this isn't him, so it's fine. Next up, we have Husk, who has a chunk of flesh, which works back to Kane. Kane can take the chunk of flesh as an accessory. So she's reusing a body. I can't remember, another one from Generation X. Is that where she's from?
Yeah, I think it would have been M.
The lady with the black hair.
Yes,
she's
M.
called. She has this same costume. So Husk has it's basically the body down is the same, but she's got 2 new heads, and the cool like standard woman head with like blonde hair, and then I'm ripping my flesh off, and there's a robot underneath kind of thing as well, which is quite cool.
What do you know about Husk?
She pulls off her skin and she can become other people or something like that. Like is it Mystique,
kind of.
but it's with more steps?
No. Basically, every time Husk removes a layer of skin, she can decide what the next layer is going to be. So she can become metals, liquids, diamond. She's become acid in the past if needed. Yeah, it's an interesting skill set.
So it seems like a pain in the ass to just like peel your skin off to get a new power. Works though, I guess. I think the accessory of just having like a lump of flesh which you can hold is pretty cool.
That is kind of cool.
And I don't like the standard I'm just woman with no expression. I like the screaming face where she's pulling the flesh off. I think that looks really good.
Yeah.
I heard this female buck is okay, not the best, but obviously compared to the newer ones, but it was when it came out the better female buck. It's now just not as good. I think this looks okay. And then there's Ultimate Wolverine, which I think is using the X-Men 97 body. And apparently using the movie Wolverine claws. For those that I can't remember where the head's from. I think the suit's okay. It's just the black with the yellow stripes on top. I think it's an okay look. People like many thousands of Wolverines, and Wolverines always sell. I just wish I'd got the X-Men 97 version because that's my Wolverine. Yellow boy.
Is he all sold out now? Is he?
Oh God, yeah. If he's like 60 quid now.
Jeez.
Yeah. Oddly enough, they're reissuing Rogue and Gambit, but they're not reissuing Wolverine. It's like, bro, that's the one reissue.
It's only a matter of time. It's Wolverine.
Yeah, there'll be another one. I mean, there's the Secret Wars Brown Suit one coming out. There's this one coming out. There'll be another Wolverine because, they sell.
Yeah.
They always sell. It's like an Optimus Prime or a Bumblebee. They put them in because they always fucking sell. Funnily enough, they're doing X Factor Scott Summers Cyclops, which is pretty much the white suit version, but they've just changed the white and the blue to blue and yellow. So not much difference there, but he does come with some good optic blast effects. One brand new one as well. Well, it's not actually a brand new one. You have the optic blast effect, which is the beam, and then you have a I guess impact effect, which you add on to the end of the beam, which has a really good look to it. Yeah,
I dig that.
It's just in a Scott Summers that I don't really want. Again, I want the X-Men 97 Scott, because that's, he's in this. I don't think this is a great look. The weird,
this wasn't a good look for him.
No, the blue one or the white one, it's just kind of boring. It's not great. I don't like Scott having his hair covered. I'm against that.
Well, it's funny because the 97 suit I agree, it's probably my preferred look for him, but he has had some decent looks over more recent years that have gone back to the covered head.
What was the one where he was evil and he had the big X on his forehead for the visor? I thought that looked
you had the Astonished X-Men look that first brought back the covered headgear. I had like the yellow piping. There was the San Francisco suit that had the gold banding around his forearms and lower legs. And then the more recent Krakoa suit was black with like a blue trim to it.
Okay.
And they've put him back in a suit that doesn't have his head covering for the current X-Men. It's not a bad suit, but there's something about the artwork for him that somehow the artist keeps drawing Scott looking far too young.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't think is intentional, but it just
doesn't work for you.
Or it's either I can't work it out. He's either been drawn too young, or they've drawn him too lanky compared to how he's looked over the last few years.
Okay.
And and it's odd. So,
well, next up we have Marvel vs. Capcom, Marrow, which is pretty interesting.
Surprised.
Yeah, we there were rumors that they're going to be doing Marvel vs. Capcom 2-packs. So, like, obviously we have the Cable figure that came out, which is clearly Marvel vs. Capcom Cable. We have Marrow, who's clearly Marvel vs. Capcom as well. And I can't remember where it was, but I saw like a big list of like Marvel vs. Capcom packs, and the one I remember was Thanos versus Psylocke, which I thought was a weird 2-pack, but okay, fair enough. But regardless,
I'm surprised because Marrow's not a character I'd thought would ever have gotten a figure.
Yeah, but if you're doing a Marvel vs. Capcom line,
honestly, I didn't even know she was in those games.
Yeah, she's in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's what this look is specifically. I don't know if she was in the comics ever that looked like this. But
this was how she looked from her second major set of appearances onwards. Once they decided to make her a recurring character, this was her look.
Fair enough.
She's kind of gone back to it a few times over the years. But,
well, again, this is not using the brand new female buck, unfortunately. They have added bone knee pads. We've also got the bones coming out of her back. And she's got some bone blades as well, all bony and whatnot. She's fine. It's just knowing that they should have been using a better buck is annoying, as usual.
Yeah.
All together, you get to build a Holocaust. I'm not going to say his two lame names, which are Genocide and Nemesis, but I understand why they do not want to sell a figure called Holocaust.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I said, I showed this to Griff, and he said, 90s were a hell of a time, and I said, yeah, better time.
Yep.
To be fair, it makes sense why they called him Holocaust. His dad's Apocalypse.
And he was literally, it's what he did.
Yeah.
Age of Apocalypse was a hell of a time.
Yeah, it was a hell of a time. I'll tell you one thing I didn't like about Age of Apocalypse. The Sentinel designs were anus.
Yeah.
Anus. I hated those designs. Design-wise for Holocaust here, this is not the Age of Apocalypse version. This is apparently the more modern 616 version of him. But I think he looks really fucking cool. He always does. And he's got a bone head with fire coming out. Technically, if you wanted, you could pull that head off and throw it on Ghost Rider as well, I would imagine.
Yeah.
As long as it's reasonably sized. He's also got his dome, so you can either have him masked or unmasked, and then he's got his giant rail cannon as well. I'm kind of tempted to buy the entire wave because I really want to get this figure because he's badass. The only thing I don't like about him, and it's not the fault of Hasbro, is I don't think the color is very interesting. I think like the brownie bronze is kind of the Balthazar gold. Yeah? I don't think the Balthazar gold is a very interesting color for an entire figure.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, that.
Because that's how he looks. That's just how he looks. Fine. I don't blame him.
He's comic accurate to his more recent appearances. So.
I just think it'd be more interesting if he was yellow and translucent, technically.
I was going to say, do you want the risk of having a figure who's almost 100% translucent?
They've already done it. They did it. They did it a good number of years back. There is a build.
They didn't do Armor, did they?
Who?
Armor.
Who's Armor?
She's one of the younger X-Men of the last 20 years.
I don't think so.
She generates a suit of...
Oh, I do know that.
A telekinetic suit of armor around herself.
No, I don't think so. But the Holocaust Builder-figure was mostly not completely translucent. It was like kind of translucent-y, but yellow. Like looking at a glass of Sunny D or orange juice, right? It looked like that. And then his skull inside was bright yellow.
I had forgotten that they had done him before.
Yeah. It's a very sought-after figure. Very sought after. Apparently, shockingly, breaks. Who knows why?
You don't say.
It's a mystery. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with most of this stuff. And then we got teasers for... I want to know if because I know what these are, because I've seen what the speculations are. So, the first item we have is a staff. Who is this?
Winged staff.
You might kick yourself when I tell you.
Is it a member of Alpha Flight?
No, it is not Shaman.
I was thinking his daughter, actually. But,
I don't know if that. I just know Alpha Flight from from the 90s cartoon, obviously.
All right, go on. Who?
Classic Adam Warlock.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'd be very happy about because I have Thanos and I love the Infinity Gauntlet, so I'd like that.
Yeah.
I tell you, a 2-pack
nice
I'd really
classic.
like. I'd like a 2-pack of Gamora and Nebula, classic versions of them.
Ooh.
Especially Gamora.
Have they done Puck?
From Alpha Flight?
No, wait, was it Puck?
I had this exact same annoying conversation with Gruff.
The other smart-mouthed dwarf who follows a biggest
literally this exact conversation with Gruff a couple of days ago. It's Pip. Pip the Troll.
Pip, yes.
Pip the Troll. No, they haven't done Pip the Troll. I actually mentioned to Gruff, Pip would have been a nice accessory to come along with Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one's Adam Warlock.
An Infinity Gauntlet era Gamora and an Infinity Gauntlet era Nebula before she has all her cybernetics. That'd actually be a really nice set of, a living Nebula as opposed to the corpse version, but it actually appears through most of.
I was going to say, if you want to be really cruel, that would be a really fun extra figure to make.
Yeah.
Female Thanos would be quite fun to have as well.
Yeah.
The perfect woman that he has no interest in. Look, I've made a woman better than you, Death. Kill Iron Man for me. All right, pulls its head off in the background. So, after that, we have a web whip. People are like, oh, well, it could be fucking anybody.
Yeah.
Who's used a spider web in Marvel before?
I mean, not been funny, just in the last month, there's been double-digit spider characters. No, not even that. We've had the various Spider-Verse adventures carrying on.
You say Spider Island when everybody had Spider-Man powers, pretty much.
Well, there's that as well, yeah.
So it's a Spider-Man of some description. So
although a Spider Island MJ, who was the only character from Pete who used the web shooters during that arc, that could be kind of cool, actually.
That could be okay.
Yeah.
And then the last accessory, what do you think that's from? It technically could be related to Nightcrawler.
That looks like blades flying through the air.
I originally thought it could be cards for Gambit, but it wasn't. And when I heard who they thought it was, I was like, oh, that makes more sense.
I almost want to say...
Think related to Nightcrawler. This Nightcrawler in this wave. What do you think?
I mean, Mystique was still alive and kicking during the Age of Apocalypse.
He doesn't use blades?
No. Gambit did, but you said it's not him.
No.
And
besides, Gambit's in this wave, so it's not him.
Yeah.
Give up?
Yeah.
The rumors are it will be its Archangel.
But Archangel didn't exist in the Age of Apocalypse. Oh, but he did in X-Force. Yeah. Oh.
Was that the part that threw you?
You said in relation to Nightcrawler, and I thought, it's Age of Apocalypse, not X-Force. Jesus.
Well, technically, both answers were correct. Because he was in X-Force.
Yeah.
And he was in the Age of Apocalypse. I did not lie. I was sneaky with my wording.
Yes, you were.
But yeah, that's all of the Marvel stuff. So there's a good few things that I'd like to pick up in the future. I'm still waiting for Odin to come down in price because I'd like to pick up the Odin figure, but not for the amount that they've got him for at the moment.
Yeah, I still need to try and pick up Death's Head if I can find him cheap.
I know they restocked him back on
they did.
In demand, but I don't know if he's decent priced or not. Probably not.
No, he wasn't unfairly priced, but he was out of my price point, unfortunately.
Yeah, to be honest, I think you've missed good pricing for him. To be honest.
Yeah, I'm still hoping we might get him in his original green colors at some point.
It could happen later down the line. Yeah, that's it. I won't ask, unfortunately, Big D, what you've been up to because it's been 2.5 hours, and I could do with going to bed. You could do with going to bed.
Oh yes.
So where can people find you on the internet, Big D?
I am on all the socials as David Kelly. if you're around, please feel free to pop in a wave and say hi.
Mm-hmm.
I co-host the Fluff and Buster show with the good Mr. White. We've just finished up a fairly epic set of recordings, which hopefully will be out in the new year. With a bit of luck. Mr. Gruff has coopted me as his co-host for his Deeper Dive series, where we go back through articles on the Fluff and Hammer.
Oh no!
And dig deep into what makes them awesome.
Mm-mm-mm.
And I also seem to have found myself presenting the Fluff and Hammer community radio from time to time, where I find some poor schmuck from the Discord and we have a chat.
Nice. You finish all of Lord of the Rings now, right?
We have.
Nice.
6 shows.
You know what I'm going to say.
Do the Hobbit?
No. Do the Hobbit. Fuck that movie.
Yeah.
Movies.
No,
okay.
you said you wanted us to do commentaries over the
behind the scenes.
Yes, which I must admit, part of me is tempted by, but the other part makes you want to cry at the prospect.
No, it's fun. It's really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
It's also technically where the memes came out of. You know,
this
where,
also
like,
true.
oh, did you know what happened to this scene? He broke his foot, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He actually parried a real knife. Blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, I think so. Don't think I've missed anything.
XL Hedge says, I know it's backtracking, and I missed when it was brought up, but I wish Star Convoy got the, in quotations, masterpiece price point, and Power Master Optimus Prime got the cheaper Titan price point and toy accuracy. What do you think to that, Big D?
I don't. I actually like how Star Convoy looks a lot better than I do Jinrai, to be fair.
Interesting.
Especially, I mean, Masterpiece Jinrai. The more I see about that, because I didn't realize how small the Jinrai component is.
Is he really small?
Yeah, there were some pictures doing around recently. He's smaller than a Voyager.
Really? Huh.
Yes, he's.
I guess that makes sense because I guess they used to think most of the size with the trailer, right?
Yeah, but given that actually, Jinrai on his own is.
He's meant to be okay sized. He's meant to be like Dreadwing size, right? The standard robot size.
Well, the picture I saw of him did not look sized to how I would expect a Masterpiece figure of his price point to cost.
Okay.
So, yeah. But Star Convoy actually looks more to me worth the price point they seem to be going for, which I think.
Well, once they haven't actually fully announced it, but I would agree with what you're saying. I think what we said during the show, our only issue is like how bad that shitty base mode looks. But that's just the base mode. So what are you going to do?
Yep. Does anyone display their figures in base modes?
I'm sure there's like a random nutter who does. I bet there's some crazy person out there who does that.
I know almost everyone at some point puts them into a base mode, but no one leaves them in base mode.
There has to, there's always someone doing something weird and perverse.
I suppose.
You know,
there's always that one nutter who wants to do the full Scramble City with all their base mode bots.
It's cool. It looks nice, but you can't display. Well, unless you got a really big display or a hole in the ground with glass over the top of it, you can't really display it too well.
Yeah, that's a tad inconvenient for.
You have to be rich or very DIY centric,
and probably not connected to anyone on a social level.
I don't know. It depends on like DIY. Like if you're like a really good DIY man, I think you could have a way. Yeah. If you've got a man cave and you're like, well, I can do whatever. A basement man cave. This is much more America than the UK, obviously, because we don't have basements.
Yeah.
But you got a basement man cave and you're like, I'm gonna hack out the floor and put a toy display in. Be like, that'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you're a model train collector, imagine hacking out the entire floor and putting in like a giant railway system and then putting like glass, big thick glass over the top of it. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, yeah.
Or could be neat, I suppose. But that's it. Okay, so for me, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch and all those places as Decayed Andy, Rotten Flesh of a Human Being. We're on the Moonbase 2 podcast, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube as Moonbase 2 Transformers Podcast. The usual places, ccbunker.weebly.com as well. We are back as long as there's... it's hard to know if we'll be back next week, because who knows what's going to happen between now and Christmas. Probably not a lot. Might need to figure out some toy conversations to do between now and then. Because, what are they really going to have any news? I don't know.
You can never tell if with Hasbro and
Takara. It's true, but I can't imagine... Well, unless they're just like leaks, I can't imagine they're going to officially reveal anything between now and like next year at this point. Anything else? I don't think. I think I've covered it. Oh, if you want to join us for the show, it's going to be like between 9 and 10, between 9 and half 9 in the evenings on a Sunday, UK time. That's the new streaming time, so you can join the people like you have today in the chat. Thank you very much for coming on by, people. And until next time, thank you, Big D, and we'll see you guys next time.
No worries. Later, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah.